Assalamualaikum.
Alright.
Evening semua. Right. So tonight's punya deal or grill will be very unique because I think this is going to be the first time kita review more than 5 areas actually. Right. So it's going to be the first, right? We are reviewing in a way of 10 properties in 5 areas, right? And this is meant to be part of like our first time home buyer punya series because we're only going to review property which is below 500,000, right? And more importantly, for those who are watching this session tonight, you are basically going to get a shortcut of whereby you will know immediately if you are looking to buy something that can be rented out, which property you can buy and which property you should avoid. So that's the awesome bit about deal or grill for tonight, guys. Right? So before I start, I want to very quickly introduce our panel for tonight, our panelists for tonight. We've got the usual suspects. Baju sama lah tadi Sean, warna hijau.
Wow, twin.
Coordinating So satu leopard, satu lagi kuda. So spirit animal tip kuda sini. Right, then I've got obviously I think you all know Sean, more well known as Iherng, right? And then you got Zakri, you got Azrin, you got, I don't know whether Albee is here tonight ataupun tidak.
She's gonna be here.
Okay, so we got Albee, we got Azrin, we also have William, right? So these are all the panelists tonight, the one that will be doing the presentation. So the way it's going to work here is that we're going to go through the fundamentals of 8 filter. We're going to talk a little bit about the cash flow bit because tonight's goal is finding property that can give above 10% returns. So if 10% returns mean it has to be positive cash flow, guys. Right, so we're gonna go through the 10 properties, and then after that, then we're gonna call the panelists to go and pick right, to pick their brain which of these 10 properties that they think is gonna be the best one, for you guys tonight So that's how we're gonna do it tonight. So thank you panelists, right? So please give them a big warm of applause and emojis to support their bagi dia senang hati sikit since we know we're not paying them to come here, right? These guys are not being paid, by the way, guys, to be here, So I'm bragging them on Sunday night, because I think people will be, I think people can learn easily on Sunday night, So thank you, Sean, Zach, Azrin, Albee, and of course William, So with that, I'm gonna quickly go to the introduction. Right, in terms of our deal or grill, what are we reviewing tonight? What's the basic principle behind 8 filter? How do you then use it, right? To aid you into finding the best possible property. Okay, so next slide, please. So as usual, why are we doing this? Is to essentially provide different independent POV for those looking to buy either investment property or looking to buy own stay property. All right. And we're hoping that the data going to be used to provide independent guide to anyone looking to buy. And if there is any incorrect facts being used to go and sell this property, we are going to reveal it, right? So that you guys don't gonna scam into buying property, right? That whereby the agents ataupun the developer purposely don't go and tell you the not so good thing about the property. Right, so this is why we are doing it which is why our deal or grill is not very popular amongst property developer. It's not very popular amongst property agent because they hate our guts, because we tell the truth. We make life difficult for them to go and sell shit properties. If you're selling good properties, life is easier, right? If you sell shit property, then naturally life is not going to be so great right? Because we uncover, right? So we dah kena panggil with multiple developer. Why you give my development rating 2 star je and blah blah blah. And we explain to them nicely, right? And we don't change our view unless, for example, we make a mistake in terms of assessing the property. But this is an independent POV point of view, right? We're not being paid to go and do this, right? So the goal is to really to educate the public, and hopefully, right, people buy better, people buy safer property, and they don't end up losing a lot of money when they buy a property. So that was the goal, right, of doing deal or grill. We started this year, right? Next slide, please. We have done Better Royal. So we have got another series. Deal or Grade, we review specific property. Better Royal, we actually review area. And what's the best thing you can buy in those areas. So we've done 11 now. So from Maluri to Segambut to TRX to PJ Klang Jaya to Desa Park City, Johor Bahru, KLCC, Jalan Ampang, Jelatik, Mongkera, Bukit Jalil, Cyber and Putra. Right? So we've done multiple of these areas. So, you know, if you are looking to buy any of the properties, right, which is located in these areas, my suggestion is to go through the 2-hour Better Royal episode so that you fully understand what you are buying and are you buying the best possible property you can buy in that area. Okay. Now, for Deal or Grill, right, we've probably reviewed more than 40 properties now. So after tonight, I think we are looking at about 50 properties. So next slide, please. Right. So we're now, you know, every Deal or Grill we review 5 properties. So we have done 9 now. So now we're gonna do Deal or Grill number 10, which also coincidentally we are reviewing 10 properties because the theme here is that south of Klang Valley, what are the top 10 properties that you can buy below RM500K lah? Affordable, good properties that you can buy, right? So tonight we're gonna review our top 10 picks, and this is actually quite unique because we went through Cyber, we went to Ruputra, we went to Sepang, we went to Kajang, we went to Bangi, we went all the way to even Nilai, guys. Right? So just to find the top 10 properties, right, below $500,000 that you can buy. Right? So after tonight, we officially have reviewed more than 50 properties already. So you can screenshot this if you see there's any property that you like, and you are wondering whether it's worth buying ataupun tidak or not, please go and check out our previous Deal or Grill. Okay, next. Okay, it's on the Faizul Ridzuan punya YouTube channel. So all our Deal or Grill is on Faizul Ridzuan YouTube channel. Do go and subscribe. Like I said, I'm not an entertainer. We are not an entertainer. Our goal is to educate. When you follow our channel, you're gonna get all the data information that you need before you can buy, right? Before you should buy any property, right? So guys, our guiding principle in terms of deciding, right, what property to buy, right, in terms of, you know, is it a good property ataupun tidak or not, we use this thing called 8 property filter, right? Those days we use 7 criteria. It was created prior to COVID. So today we have updated the 7 criteria to now become 8 property filter. Long story short, it's a major upgrade lah. You went from basically iPhone 1 to now iPhone 15. The 8 property filter is iPhone 15 lah, guys. Right? So the 7 criteria is iPhone 1 lah, basically. Right? So it's very comprehensive. Right? If you go to the next slide, right? You go to the next slide. So these are properties. The moment that we deploy 8 property filter, right? These are the kind of results you are getting. So if you look at the list of the properties that we're buying here, some of these properties, guys, in less than 5 years, have experienced above 200,000 capital gain. Okay, more than 200,000 capital gain, right? Above 30% capital gain in less than 5 years. So this 8 filter is not for fun. When you use it properly, you're going to identify good properties. Because it's very, very, very difficult just to get a passing mark when you use 8 filter. So far you follow? This is not for fun. This is not to make life difficult for you. Right? Buying property is no joke. If you buy the wrong one, you paid $500,000, 1 million ringgit, you don't want to lose money. Okay, so when you look at the property, the moment we deploy 8 filter, right, and you can see as of today, these properties today, you can get 8-9%, lowest is 6% rental yield, highest today is almost 11%. And I'm talking not on a short-term rental, I'm talking about long-term rental here. So if you do Airbnb, your rental yield will be even better. So again, when I put the rental rate here, rental yield of above 10%, this is not referring to short-term rental. Because let's be honest, anything you do short-term rental, everything will make money. So this one is Sean's famous word, right? If you do Airbnb, everything also makes money, right? So this one is not an Airbnb rental, right? This is a long-term rental. Because if I were to be very honest, if you look at this property called Diana, see here Diana, can you see Diana? Can you spot Diana or not? This property. Can you spot Diana? How much is the rental rate there? Guys, I put 4,008, right? Okay. If I want to use short-term stay, I've got track record of people getting average 15,000 per month. Not 4,008, 15,000 per month. So my rental yield, if I put 15,000 per month, guys, is going to be close to 30%. No one in Malaysia other than FACAP client is getting this level of result, right? So that's an example of number one, right? Diana, this is in Johor, right? Number two, closer to central KL is Albee. Albee, for example, this is a long-term rental of 6,005. If you do short-term rental, we have consistently able to go and get above 10,000 ringgit. So 700,000 property can get above 10,000 ringgit per month if I were to do short term. So again, all of this rental rate is long term. Okay, so that's the whole point. If you want to use 8 filter, and if you can use 8 filter properly, you're not going to buy bad property. You are just going to buy good ones. Okay, guys, clear, guys? The motivation to work hard, the motivation to collect data, right? Why you have to collect data? So that you don't make the wrong purchase. You buy good property. You buy decent property. Property makes money every month. Property gives you 10, 20%, 100,000 capital gain, less than 5 years. Okay, guys, clear? That's the motivation, reason why you want to use 8 filter. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this one is a repeat. It's okay, we can skip this. Next. All right. So I think we can skip this slide first. All right. So like I said, we used to use 7 criteria. Now we have 31 criteria that we're using. And then we sub it into 8 category, which is now we call 8 filter. Actually, 8 filter is 31 criteria, guys. So we went from 7 criteria back then to now 31. So which is why you go from iPhone 1 to iPhone 15 under the 8 property filter. Okay, so you can see here under the 8 property filter, if you move to the next slide. Wait, tak ada ya? Okay, never mind. Patah balik. Okay, I want you to see this thing called cash flow and return on capital. So tonight's focus is cash flow and return on capital. Dengar betul-betul lah, guys. Right? So because we are trying to identify property above 10% rental return, betul lah, guys. So your focus tonight is cash flow and ROC for a cash flow punya POV. So what you want to do here is that you want to find property. If you want above 10% return, guys, you must get 4 star. Dengar betul-betul lah. You have to find property tonight that can qualify for 4-star rating. Okay. The ROC for cash flow kena 4 star and above. So kita bagi rating of 1 star, 0 star to 5 star. 5 star is the best, 0 star is the worst. In order to get positive cash flow, to get at least 10% rental return, okay, cash on cash, you have to get minimum 4 star. So good thing tonight, we review 10 property, we will give you the star so you will know which property to buy, which property to avoid. Right? So I got a question here. So that means 7 criteria kena delete. Tidak. 7 criteria tu kita absorb. Tapi 7 criteria tu tak lengkap. It's not complete. There were gaps. We were missing on certain good properties. Right? Because we failed to spot certain things. So 7 criteria is upgraded into 8 filter. So all of the criteria and the 7 criteria is all currently being used with 8 filter. But we add a lot more. So 7 criteria is not deleted. But it get completely upgraded. Right, to fit in 2025. I like this. From Pro to now Pro Max. Right, from Pro to Pro Max. But I wouldn't say it's Pro to Pro Max, because Pro to Pro Max, the gap is very little, guys. This one, massive. Like I said, iPhone 1 versus iPhone 15. Right, so today, like I said, we are going to review 10 properties. Next slide, please. Right. So these are all 10 properties today you can buy at a price point of below ringgit. Okay. And boy, guys, I feel humble as we do this simply because there's a bunch of property and area that I thought can never make it, guys, 5-10 years ago, and I was making fun of these areas, and today, like, holy cow, mahalnya sewa dekat sini, right? So, like I said, it's a humbling experience for me, but you know, I always tell people when we are wrong, we just admit we are wrong and we move on. And it is, after all, 5 to 10 years. So some of this property memang completely outperform versus our expectation. Okay. So we are humble enough to go and admit, well, okay, I didn't thought it's gonna do this well, right? And turns out people are doing quite okay as of today. I thought everyone not gonna make it, right? So especially on, you know, some of these areas. So these are the properties we are reviewing tonight. So let's see what the next slide is. And I will see whether I continue to speak ke ataupun, you know, okay, I will, like I said, kita ada 8 filter, right? The first one is price. Let's go to the second one. Right? Second one is booster. Third, right? Supply versus demand. So guys, you can go and watch the full video of 8 filter tu in our YouTube channel. So I think we've done it. So I think we took 1.5 hours to explain all of the criteria. Tonight we're not gonna repeat that again. Okay, my team dah already letak link dekat situ. Go and click it. Go and nanti tengok when you have free time. So the third criteria, supply and demand. Number 4. Next. Right, multiple rental option. Next is the fourth one. Fifth is cash flow. So our focus tonight is gonna be cash flow. So you can see here, guys, 4-star means you dah boleh dapat positive cash flow. 4-star onwards. 5-star obviously is the best lah, guys. Sebab apa? Means the installment is 120% versus your installment. So for tonight's practice, okay, we are looking at cash flow. Number 1, rated. So all the property you kena tengok cash flow. Number 2 punya rating is that you're gonna look cash on cash, you know, cash on cash return, cash flow addition. So which is next one. Okay, then you got filter number 6, which is USP. Now number 7, right, which is your primary focus. Sebab kita ada 2, cash on cash return. Cash on cash means it will determine how much money you will make versus the capital that you put. Okay, how much money you will make versus the capital that you put. Okay, clear, guys? So for tonight, I want you to focus on cash flow ROC, bukan capital gain ROC. Capital gain means you buy below market value and you aim to sell ataupun flip this in 5 years. So far follow? So your focus tonight, your return on capital, because when you buy property, you look at 2 things. Number 1, either capital gain ataupun cash flow. These 2 are how you make money out of property. Betul, guys? For tonight's purpose and intention, we are going to focus and zoom in on cash flow, return on capital. Okay? So malam ni, you look at only these 2 part je, guys. ROC for cash flow and cash flow itself punya star. Right? Because if on the 2 sides, either of them dapat 4-star and above, okay, gas. Property ni good. Selamat untuk dibeli. Okay, so faham guys? So what you are aiming is 4-star onwards. Minimum 4, guys. Minimum 4-star. Okay. Clear, guys? So next. Last but not least is basically your exit option lah. Whether it's easy to exit ataupun tidak bila you jual nanti. Right? So these are all your 8 filter. So go and watch the YouTube if you want to understand the full explanation how to fully use the 8 property filter. But like I said, for tonight's purposes, you are focusing on cash flow punya star and return on capital cash flow side. Okay, clear, guys? So next. Okay. So the cash flow rating is what you want to be looking at lah. So you want to look for minimum 4-star. Yeah, cash flow wise. So it's very, very rare, guys. Very, very rare for you to find property that will give you both capital gain 4-star, 5-star, and cash flow also 4-star and 5-star. Very, very, very rare. So I would say out of 100, you akan jumpa satu. Right? Property yang boleh bagi you macam tu. And ada tak property yang boleh bagi you macam tu? I've shown you before, we've seen property kita beli kat Fakap whereby you beli, you dapat 300,000 cash out, property is not even negative cash flow. So you get 300,000 gains on top of property tak negative cash flow, boleh dapat positive cash flow. Which means you akan dapat dua-dua when you buy property that will fulfill 8 filter. Okay guys? So that's context. Yeah. Next. Okay. So this is a summary. This is the 8 property filter. And again, what we are going to be focusing on tonight is the cash flow bid and the return on capital for tonight. Okay. Next slide. Okay. Again, boleh pergi YouTube kalau nak pergi tengok the full video. Next slide. Okay. So these are going to be the 10 properties we are reviewing tonight. Right. So we are reviewing Sandaling dekat Cyberjaya, Aspire dekat Cyberjaya, right? And then kita ada Kita Sejati dekat Cyber South, right? Which is part of the Cyberjaya punya belt punya. Then we've got Jernih dekat Kajang. Then you got M-Sina, which is Bangi, you know, punya side. Then you got Adilia, Kaladia, Ara Residence, Arena Residence, dan Residency KLIA, which some of these are going to be in Sepang and some of it is going to be dekat Nilai. So again, a lot of areas we are looking at. So these are all property you can buy below RM500,000. And if you want to get cash flow, like I said, focus on the minimum 4-star lah, guys. Okay? So that's your goal for tonight. So with that, I will hand over the floor to the team to quickly run through, right? What is the development punya characteristic and what is the rating that is going to be given to those developments to see whether you can buy them or not. Okay? That, take it away, team.
Albee, you're mute.
Let me unmute.
Okay, sorry, too excited, tiba-tiba. So, okay, thank you, boss, for the introduction for 8 filter lah. So we can continue from the presentation forward. I guess as we have introduced these 8 filters, from part of the presentation of our deal grill and also our review of property, it seems to be a bit faster because now we are more on data driven kind of thing. We have more criteria, so we fit in all the criteria, we rate it according to what it is. So we have a very brief idea on how the project would looks like on overall. So specific for today, we have 10 properties for below $500,000. So for people who wanted to start for investment in property, probably this is some of the property that is much more easy to digest for the price. Also into the area that you might look forwards, because like last time we might not think that, oh, this area can actually make such profits, and also when times goes by, actually things can change a lot. Maybe sometimes it doesn't perform well, but it performs good today. So we're going to review some of the property tonight, so just stay tuned. So for the first one, we have Sandaling. So the next slide. So this one is located in Cyberjaya. So as for all of your information, Cyber today, I mean, last time they was talking about the Silicon Valley, even though it doesn't turn out to be the actual Silicon Valley as compared to Bangsa South today. But as per now, offices was actually started to occupy already, and Cyberjaya today was actually, I would say, the hub of university, because we have Lincoln Wing, we have MMU, we have University of Cyberjaya, and also others in the area. So even there's also international school in the area. So despite of being a bit far from the city center, Cyberjaya is also have its own, I would say, a complete master plan and also amenities around within just a small piece of land. So as per today, you can see there's a lot of condos in the area as well. Today you can just screenshot this. This is one of the one that we have chosen. So this one is a freehold, 606 unit. Size-wise, is be slightly bigger. About smaller is about 958 square feet. 3 bedroom. The biggest would be about close to 1,000 for 3-bed 4-bath. And actually, they have another special called private terrace. It's close to 1,007 square feet. Since today we are revolving for like 500K and below, right? So hence those above, we will not be discussing for tonight lah. So completion is about 2028. Facilities, they have a sky pool for this one. So the next one, we move to the next slide, will be on the discussion lah. So for Standalink 2, it's actually located near to the lakefront, Lake Point area. So, and also the nearest university is actually Unis of Cyberjaya. So in terms of targeted segmentations, there will be different group. It can be students, it can be lecturers. Hence, in terms of locations of this particular development is actually quite strategic. Complete amenities, and because of the sizes, it's quite suitable for own stay. It's a freehold. But part of the downside of the property I wanted to highlight is because of this Standalink, it actually comes with phases. So each phases have different blocks. So as per the master plan of this development, it will be 8 blocks, 8 phases coming up. So probably upcoming, it will be slightly looks into high density, but they have to, I mean, in between all the plots, they will have a common facility sharing around. So it would be something like Ashram Ampang. There will have a few blocks, but yeah, and also sharing a big plot of facility as well. Okay, so for the next slide is the current market of our Cyberjaya. So the net price point for Standalink is about 490 per square feet. So Cyberjaya, considering all the new and old in the area, the current median of Cyber is about 474 per square foot. So the prices wasn't too far from the median of the area, comparing to even to the absolute price point. Okay, so in terms of rental, the nearest comparable is Lakefront Residence, which is actually just within the area. So you can look at it. If you're talking about 3-bedroom, it's about 2,000 to 2,003. The biggest size, about 1,004 square feet, is about 2,005 to 2,008. So if you're looking at mortgage of today's market, so it's actually going to break even for this Standalink, not considering the maintenance fee lah. So we're just purely talking about mortgage. Okay, so next slide. Hence, it comes to our 8 filter. So the price is actually at median, so it's about 3 point. So for booster, considering of the master plan of cyber and the outturn of it, so it was given 4-star. Supply demands, because of specific talking about this plot of lakefront, Lake Point, that was actually close to about 5,500 units, which is a new supply. Hence, it will be a bit competing. So hence, it was just 2.5 for it. So MRO, you can either rent for like room rental to all the other tenants, or whole units actually doing quite good. But hence, because it's a bit limited, maybe some of it we're considering, oh, I wanted to rent to specific group of people, hence will be limited. Hence the MRO is just 2-star. So USP 1-star because of considering all the supplies layout lah. So facilities will just give it 1-star because of the rooftop pool is being given. Exit strategy was actually 1-star after considering the prices. It's just at the median. We are not talking about you're buying two at a much more lower price point at a better locations, because in terms of other development, for example, you have Wuno in the area, which is also opposite MMU, but it's actually at a much more nearer locations towards the Tamari, which is the much more commercial area of Cyberjaya. Hence, after considering of the location and the surrounding supply, hence it was just 1-star. So in terms of capital rating is 2.4, cash flow rating is 2.6. So on the cash on cash return, which we are actually the main focus of the today. So it looks from our cash flow, it will actually make you break even about 100 to 200 per month. Hence, considering some of the costs you have to fork out, for example, you have to pay for MOT, the renovations. Hence, the cash on cash return will just be 3-star, which means you'll be actually with a cost of 5 to 7%, covering of your making your cash flow about 0 to 200 per square feet. Okay, so the next one we have is actually Aspire, which is also in Cyberjaya. Okay, so the next one. So Aspire is slightly different. So I wanted to just give a bit of introduction of Aspire because it was a bit special. Previously, when it was launched, it was, I would say, super affordable prices in cyber, because cyber last time the prices can be go up quite crazy, about 700 per square feet up to 800 per square foot for all the Panja series. So when Aspire was launched, the price was just about close to 450 per square feet. But because of considering the spec after it was completed, it was for me it can be a bit medium cost or slightly below. So hence you can see this is just a detail, so you guys can appreciate size is actually quite big, it's about 900 square feet. So the next slide you can see is their prices. So I would say is the look, I mean, the selling point of this property is actually is affordable prices. So go to the next two slides, which you can see is their prices. Next slide. Which is about today is about 370 per square feet, which you can own this property about 330,000 for 900 square feet. So they don't come with a fancy kind of facilities. No, they just have a humble multi-purpose hall, their gym, and also the pool. They don't have elevated car park. It's just a normal. So our considering of the spec and the property itself, hence it justify the prices it was offered lah. Okay, so if you're considering, if you refer to this as a median of Cyberjaya, of course, this is not really a much more comparable product because this was a bit medium to low cost kind of spec. So in terms of rental, so Aspire today is actually a completed product. Today was actually doing quite good because you are just buying a property about your monthly mortgage about close to 1,004 to 1,005 only, but you can rent out about 1,008 to 2,000 for a 3-bedroom in this area. So hence in our 8 property filter, we actually consider quite many factors. It's not about cash on cash return. It's also about the prices of the area. So you guys have to pick lah. Okay, if I wanted to buy at today market, what kind of price point you are able to digest, what kind of investment property you are looking forwards for. So if this is your take, maybe you can consider. Okay, so on the next slide is the final rating of this property. So you can see the price is actually 5-star. But if you, because just to highlight here, because this Aspire is not really apple to apple kind of comparable because of the specs of the property. So if you really look forward for a medium low cost, for example, something like Rumah Selangorku kind of spec, probably it was something suits this kind of prices and specs. But this is something is completed and also have been ongoing listing for rental. So it's considered a proven kind of thing other than you're going to buy something under corner area lah. So booster considering of cyber today. So MRO, because of the specs and things, so slightly lose out, and because of Aspire location is not that near to even to all the university. So it's a bit further down. Hence it is not considering for those students who wanted to walk to school or university. It won't be their main choice lah. So actually we visited Aspire last time. So mainly people are going for own stays. People who stay over here is actually small families over this area lah. Hence cash flow is just 4-star. So considering of the USP is just the prices, so it was given 2-star. So MEO of exiting of this property is just 1-star, considering of the for me, because to exit, considering of this specs and prices, it was just 1-star because to me, it might be a bit mass market for you to exit. So in terms of return of cash, on cash flow, because this is going to make quite a good yield in terms of return, because of the entry price point of the property is not that high, hence the return of capital for cash flow is 4-star. So it come up to the final rating, the capital gain of this property is just 3, the cash flow of the property is also just 3. Okay, because the price balance out with the exit strategy. Okay, and also the cash flow is I would say for this price point is justifiable lah. Okay, this go for Aspire. Next one we have is actually our Kita Sejati. So Kita Sejati is actually at the Cyber South, or we can call it Dengkil. So it's actually more even further than the Cyberjaya Center today, where people talk about, okay, cyber being we actually did Battery of Cyberjaya. So Cyberjaya is a bit special. We have been segregated in 2 areas. So there's one area is actually more towards those offices, Silicon, I mean, all this MNC area, hub, okay? Then the other side is all where the university was located, where, or even the commercial areas is actually more happening kind of around the Tamirun area. So this Kita Sejati is actually even at the very bottom of the Cyberjaya. It's actually very close to Dengkil, or even can classify as Dengkil area. So it's close to the Gamuda site already. So this is a master plan by LBS. So actually they come with different series. You have Kita Sejati, Kita Ria, Kita Mekah, Kita Impian, or they have landed houses also together in this master plan sheet lah. So next slide. This is the details of this development. So it's a freehold, close to 1,000 unit. So this layout come with they come with 2 layout. We have 2 bedroom, about 600 square feet. They also have bigger size layout, it's about 850 square feet lah. So facilities wise for this actually normal lah. They have children, stream, swimming pool, futsal court. Okay, so in terms of the amenities of the area, so because it's actually over quite lower part of the Cyberjaya, so it's not really as happening as the center of Cyberjaya. So in terms of schools wise, actually quite lacking lah. So the nearest university is the UiTM Dengkil for this Kita Sejati. So okay, so for the next one is the marketing point of view of this property lah. So for location, some people will argue whether this location is strategy. So this is what I'm going to argue lah. So some people will think, okay lah, for this Dengkil area, it seems to be quite all right. But if you talk about Cyberjaya accessibility towards the highways, Kita Sejati might actually lose lah. It's not it's something more happening area ke something lah. So I'll just argue about the location lah if you're looking for it. So prices can be quite affordable. So it's a freehold. Next slide. Is the price of the property lah. So you can see the current price is for this Kita Sejati is 440 per square foot, but unfortunately the surrounding of this Kita series was transacted about 370 per square feet only. So it was slightly lose out lah for this, because this location was not something in a too center of it. So this is why I just now say the strategic location is arguable. Hence, the prices will reflect to it lah. So as per, if you look at today rental market, okay, you talk about Kita Impian, the 2 bedroom is about 1,002 to 1,005, 3 bedroom is 1,003 to 1,006. So for this one, if you go for a 2 bedroom, you might able to break even or make a little bit of positive cash flow. But if you go for 3 bedrooms, unfortunately, you are unable to make the positive cash flow because it's just about your mortgage lah. Because the latest series completed was the Kita, so it's a 3 bedroom 6,006. So ngam only lah. Okay, so for the next slide is the price. So the price after considering the transacted series of this area, it was just given for 0.5 because it was about 20 to 30% above whatever being transacted lah, and whatever is being offered. So to me, of the location of this area, I don't really see it booster. So it was classified as 0 booster, was 2-star. So, but if you want to see this as a big master plan, as considering of the component of having landed houses and also high rises, some people will argue that okay, it's still a master plan, but to me, master plan has a lot of consideration of not just considering is having a landed properties, then it's considered master plan. It have to be a lot of amenities around that have to make this master plan a much more complete master plan for me. So in terms of supply versus demand, of course, this is a Kita series, so actually there's not too much of supply. MRO, considering of the locations, the prices, and the rental demands, you actually more on the home rental. The room rental demand is actually pretty less or not. I don't really see much. Hence, it was just 1 star. So cash flow just slightly break even. Just ngang cover installment, so it's a 3 star. So USP is just 1 star, considering of the price, the spec of this location. So return of capital on the and also the cash flow was just 3 stars, just so break even. You have to top up a little bit, you have to pay for MOT for the cost lah. MEO is for me, even though you might be a much more new series, but to me it's all the development of this Kita series is just a bit similar. So for upcoming, if you wanted to exit for all these Kita series, maybe they are all your competitors in the area. And also so happen is still a same master plan, so the landed houses is just right below, and people might just considering or owning the landed houses in the area lah. Hence, as a conclusion, the capital gain of rating of this property is just 1.5, the cash flow is just 2. Okay, so the next one is we have is actually our 8 property filter. So
Very quickly,
you can go with
Albee,
Faizul. Yep.
very quickly, guys. I just want to explain it a bit. Can we go to the slide previously? Kenapa kita ni, despite being very cheap, right, has got a very poor rating. Okay, so number 1, this is not proper Cyberjaya, this is Cyber South. Okay, so to one reason lah. Number 2, this is also Malay Reserve. Correct me if I'm wrong, Albee. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You're on
it's
mute,
a Malay reason. Yeah, it's a Malay
right?
reason. Yeah.
So if you are gonna pay about 400 ringgit per square foot, you top up sikit je, you dah boleh dapat proper Cyberjaya, proper freehold dekat Cyberjaya. So why pay similar price point to buy Malay Reserve in a non-Cyberjaya? Does that make sense? So which is why kalau you tengok dekat sini, the cash flow rating here is still okay, but 2 star. Tapi if you compare to the previous 2 yang kita review tadi tu, the cash flow was better lah, right? Was better. Okay, which is why even for rating POV, this is basically it's not the cheapest from a price per square foot point of view, right? Aspire will make it a better option lah, given that Aspire is located in the proper Cyberjaya. Price per square foot pun kurang lebih sama, and it's not a Malay Reserve development, right? Which is why this one rating wise is actually quite low. Now, again, to give you guys some level of perspective juga, if you go to the next slide, okay, we are not unfamiliar dengan Cyberjaya, right? Starting from last year, kita dah mula beli dekat Cyberjaya, and these are the things that we buy, right? Next slide, please. So, last year, for example, we bought the cheapest property launch in the whole of Cyberjaya in the last 15 years. Why do I say so? Because there was no property you can buy new property in Cyberjaya in the last 15 years below 200,000. Last year, we got 100 units, guys, below 200,000. So this is the cheapest property deal we have done in Cyberjaya, in Far Capital as well, in the history of Cyberjaya and Far Capital. Right, at below 200,000, our discount is 30%, over 30%. Right, so we buy proper Cyberjaya, we buy proper freehold, right? We pay below 500 ringgit per square foot, right? And we are getting a much better property lah, and the property is called VV lah, bukan nama sebenar, because we cannot reveal the property name because the property is still under construction. Developer today is still selling at a 20% price point higher. So last year, as a far cap client, you pay 190. Today, as a non-far cap client, you pay roughly about 220 to about 230. Okay, to buy the exact same property as of today, right? So which is why we can argue lah that property, for example, macam kita tadi tu is not going to be as good as what we bought. Okay. Now, the second property that we have basically entered dekat Cyberjaya, right? Which is called Una, right? This is a dual key unit. So if you can see here from a price point of view, it's not the cheapest sebab price per square foot is around there saja. It's not cheap, it's not expensive juga. Tetapi, right? If you tengok from a cash flow punya point of view, is minimum 4 star dekat situ. Dia punya cash flow rating 4.3 star because for 450,000, you akan dapat 2 biji unit, guys. So it's dual key. So orang lain beli 400,000 dekat Cyber dapat 1 unit. Kita beli 400,000, you akan dapat 2 unit. You boleh sewa kepada 2 tenant yang berbeza sebab unit kita tu is dual key. Therefore, the cash flow is going to be quite. Okay. So when we say that there are better things that you can buy, there are better things that you can buy. Right? So again, guys, kita dah review 3 property around Cyberjaya and Cyber South punya area. And when we give a property 1 star rating, 2 star rating, is not without any basis. Right? So again, 400,000 almost for a Malay reserve property in Cyber South versus 2 ketul biji unit for 450,000 in proper Cyberjaya. Right? Dekat dengan Tamarin Square. So much more prime location. Okay. Next slide, please. Right. So yeah, I will hand over floor again to the team.
I think I can add on a little bit of this Cyberjaya context of this property. So if you look at Cyberjaya today as per to the markets, there's plenty of property. So they are actually coming with big size, 1,000, 1,002, 1,001. But there's several property come with small sizes. For example, Tamarin Suites, we have Panja, they can come out with 1 bedroom, studio or Soho units. If you look at to the markets, actually all these studio and Soho unit was actually going up quite a good price. So it's about 1,004 to 1,006, 1,007 kind of room for just rent a studio or a 1 bedroom Soho in the area. Hence, to buy in these locations, if you are buying into very big sizes as in 1,000 to 1,000 for this 3 bedroom, and it's solely a non-convertible unit, so you can only just compare with all the markets in the 3 bedroom. So if you talk about the lakefront series, Lake Point area, if you was been there, you can see like actually there's so many with the same layout, so your competition might be quite competitive. Hence, this area with the sizes that's convertible is for studio actually doing quite good. Even those areas in the other side of Cyberjaya where the offices are, those Soho was actually doing quite well for the area. Hence, to choose on what to go with in the area, you have to look on the supply and demand of the room layouts also for this area, because today if you invest in this below 500,000 kind of price point, it's actually you have to see like what kind of markets is offering. Okay, if I go for 1 bedroom, what is the price point rental looks like? 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. If I go for 3 bedroom, my mortgage is how much? How much is my rental is it going to cover? Hence, there's a lot of factors to actually affect in the market. So the location of it will also be one of the main reasons you have to look forward lah. Okay, so that's for Cyberjaya market. So the next one we have is Journey. So I guess this some of you might be a bit familiar because this is by one of, I would say, well-known developer, and also this is TOD with the MRT Journey stations. So next slide. This is the details of the units of Journey. So a number of units, 1,006. So considering of the, I would say along this MRT1 series line of TOD development, this is considered a bit higher density lah. Okay, so this is probably the concern of most of the buyers over this Kajangs, I mean towards the end of the side of the Kajangs concern lah. So tenants, freeholds, layout wise, their smallest layout is actually 550 square feet. It's a rumah selenge pula. So of open market is 650 up to 850 square feet for a 3 bedroom. Completion is about 2026. Facilities at level 10, you have basketball court, badminton court, gym, swimming pool. for this building. So in terms of amenities, for me, actually for this particular journey, it's actually, I would say it's quite all right, because you have a lot of choices of schools around. For healthcare, it's just near to you. If you want to walk to Lotus, about 10 minutes walking distance is walkable lah. But of course, not today. People don't drive. Don't walk, right? People drive. So, but in terms of distance, it's actually quite near lah. But even if you don't want, you can just hop on the MRT journey station. So this MRT journey station is the next slide is going to explain the specialty of this product lah. So this is TOD to MRT line 1, one station interchange to KTM. So KTM will actually lead you to KL Central. So if you go on MRT line 1, so sooner it will connect you to TRX area. So it's another job hotspot. It's either go to KL Central or you go to TRX. Okay, so affordable prices by well-known developer. So this is a JV between MKH and also Sunway property. So next slide. In terms of today markets, so the net price point is about 480 per square feet. So median, so considering median of this area was taking all I would say overs like Batu Sebelas MRT station and below, kind of MRT TOD development. So we have landmark, we have FKH boulevards in the area. So this is the median lah. So we are considering this as a TOD development. Because nearer to journey, actually there's very few development that I can really compare, as in the vicinities towards the MRT, the locations. So hence I would just take along the MRT station. So they are just 1 or 2 stations away from this journey station. So they was transacted about close to 460 to 470 per square feet lah. Okay, so rentals wise, if you talk about nearest, you can consider is Akoya residence. But if you talk about those along the MRT line, probably I guess many people will know about this landmark lah. So it's they have landmark series 1 and landmark 2. Okay, some of people are saying, oh, landmark was doing quite good for the room rental lah because of attachment towards this MRT station. But of course, you have to walk lah. Across the way towards the MRT station. So in terms of mortgage, so if you look for 2 bedroom, it's close to 1,006. 2 bath is close to 1,008. 3 bedroom is about 2,000. So if you look solely for about 3 bedroom in the area along this MRT line, so you're actually going to make some profit lah. So you take about even for landmark or MKH boulevards too is actually much more newer. So it's either one cover or make some about 100 to 200 positive cash flow for the property. So next slide is the star rating of the property. So prices is just about at the median of the area. Boosters, because it has an MRT station, so it has, for me, it's classified as 1 booster. But in terms of but people will argue lah, this station of MRT is like almost actually quite behind lah. It's not the front or more nearer to the city center kind of MRT station. So it might not be that significant towards the users, but yeah, some of today people are really looking for, hey, if I want to get on MRT kind of property or TOD, what property can I get on? So considering the sizes and the price, maybe this is something you can consider. Okay, so supply and demand is about 3, is not really too much. MRO 2.5 because of considering the location of this MRT station. It's not that further front, so it might not drive that as much of rental options as compared to like even like Maluri, Cheras area, KL City Center lah. Cash flow 4-star, USP 2-star, return of cash on cash, return of cash flow, because for this property you have to fork out a certain of money for the renovations, legal fees. So even though it might make you a little bit of cash flow in like 4-star, but in return of capital you have to fork out to purchase for this property, so it's just 3-star. MEO is just 0.8 considering of the location, prices, And because this is not to say much more cheaper than all the MRT line properties, so hence it was just 0.8 lah. So at the end, the capital rating of the property is just 2.3. The cash flow of the property is 2.9. Okay, so that's all for Jenny. So the next one we have MC now.
Okay, can hear my voice? Hello?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you. Okay.
All right. Okay. For the next property, all right, guys. Let's looking for this property, Mcina. Mcina is a freehold property that located in the Southville cities, a township that I can say that it's a freehold property that located in the Southville city, a township that located in the Bangi, Selangor. This property is a service apartments that comes with a 2 to 3 bedrooms with two layout lah, which are type A and B, which is ranging from 550 square feet and up to 868 square feet lah. There will be a 2 block of 33 story with total unit of 422 units that will be completed in 2028 lah. So in terms of facilities, quite good, because there are sun deck lounge, play lounge, and of course a basic facilities like gymnasium, swimming pools, and etc. lah. And as for the location wise, it's convenient for those who want to avoid a heavy traffic, I can say, in Bangi because of the strategic locations. Southville City has a direct access to the North-South Expressway plus highway via its own Southville City interchange lah, and also provides a connectivity to the KL, Putrajaya, and Seremban. And from the KL Seremban highway also is a direct access to the Southville City through the Southville City Toll Plaza. Next, this is the Azure Marketing POV. In Southville City itself, have more than 100 plus retail shops lah, like Family Mart, Coffee Beans, and more, and has what we considered has a newer township in Bangi. It offers a lot of amenities from shopping to medical to school, and that are within the close proximity to the residential like Mcina. As this Mcina is a freehold, it's giving a sense of security and stability lah, I can say, along with the potential for the better ROI in the long term. Next. Okay, in terms of price per square foot, the price for this property is about from 440 PSF, whereby if compared with the new median is slightly higher. But this M series property with a good facade and better facilities and amenities, so this price still can be considered okay. So in terms of rental and mortgage perspective pula, for 2-bedder in Mcina is about roughly around 1,200 per month, and 3-bedder about RM1,007 per month lah, plus minus. And if we see the rental, right, the nearby comparable which is within the Southville City area for 2 and 3-bedder ranging from 1.5K to 2.5K lah, while as you can see the sensory residence 3-bedder is ranging from 1.8 to 2.6K, which means that the rental can cover the installment while potentially can get a positive cash flow in the future. All right. This is the projection of star rating for Mcina in based on the 3-bedder. The price is 2 star, whereby the PSF is considered slightly higher than the median. Booster 4 star because of the Southville City Township and the upcoming job supply after the township fully completed. Supply and demand is 3 star. MRO is 1 star. Cash flow is 5 star because it can cover the installment while getting a positive cash flow more than 600 plus lah. The USP only 3 star. And for your information, this property is a 0 DP, but need to add up a capital a bit lah in a few costs. So it's 5 star with ROC capital gains more than 100% in 5 years. The cash flow is 4 star, whereby after consider the rental and the mortgage projections, we'll get a positive cash flow around 400 plus with ROC of 11% lah. So that's why we put it as a 4 star. Mayor is 3 star. So overall rating for capital gain and cash flow above 3 stars after going through our 8 property filter. Okay, next. Next one is
I think before we move on, I think we should just explain a little bit kot. Why, for example. So this is basically one of the areas that I think in a way, patah balik tadi, that I think I have been quite humbled lah, to be honest lah. You want to share a little bit what is the rental range today, Azrin, right? Dekat these areas of today. Right, because this area, guys, if you recall correctly, I pun tak tahu in a way, if you look at nilai Cyberjaya and this area, in the last couple of years, this area penuh dengan lelong, guys. And lelong dia RM250 hingga RM300 per square foot saja. Okay. Today, this area, guys, right, dah boleh sampai kepada RM600 per square foot on subsale. Not kidding you, from an actual transaction punya point of view. Rental punya POV pula, we have now seen units getting 3 bilik getting all the way to about 2,500. What's the highest yang kita pernah tengok? Azri, from a ads punya point of view?
for can get around wait let
Right.
me
Yeah. So because of that, the rental yield so far dekat this area, right, has been quite amazing lah basically. It's largely driven by the mature punya commercial. So rental demand seems to be quite good. And I think a lot of people prefer this place sebab apa, dia betul-betul sebelah highway. It's very easy to go in and out to work. Right? So accessibility is very important. Right? So today, and it's not just university student, I think largely it's basically young adult. They would rather duduk dekat sini, right, compared to actual Bangi, which is more mature, right, better neighborhood, because of the traffic, because of the jam. Yeah, even all the way to Kajang lah basically. So again, this area has been a surprise for me, right? Has been a surprise for me. To see that you can actually get break-even rental. Right? I've never thought in my life that this area with this many apartments will be able to go and do it. Right? So yeah, again, I always tell people when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. When I'm, when I'm right, you will know. Right? So this area has been in a way, I have to change my mind because of this. Yeah, because a couple of years ago, this area penuh dengan auction. And you're talking about below RM300 per square foot kind of auction. Today, you don't see them anymore, right? You don't see them anymore, right? On top of that, the commercial is a lot more vibrant, right? So I think there's a couple of comment here, cakap maintenance fee mahal. But that's typically what happens when the property is quite well managed, and from a facilities punya point of view, it's actually quite okay lah. Right? So for us, as long as the maintenance fee is not above, let's say 45 cents per square foot ataupun 50 cents per square foot, it is still within okay range for a modern punya property. Right? So let's call it as it is. I love to hate on this property development and somewhat the developer, right? But I can no longer do that because factually speaking, I think a lot of people are going to do quite well, especially if they buy the units which is about 400,000 and below. Yeah, for the 3 bilik lah.
And
Right.
yeah, and just to add on, right, this is like the weirdest phenomenon ever. Like I visited the next project, like Adelia, then I visited 2 projects. I documented the first phase, and the second phase is called Sensory, then a few more lah, Serrado. And from the highway, you see the structure of the elevator car park one. It's all sticking out. That was the concern for everybody who don't want to buy. Then when you go in, the common complaints is why you have such a high density project next to empty land? Langsung tak masuk akal. Bukan tak ada tanah pun. But it's just why you want to stay in such a high density area when sebelah is rumah kampung. Literally, if you cut into Adelia's Bangi Wonderland area, right? You need to drive past this area, then you see, oh, here got 2 or 3 lanes. After the development, it's Jalan Kampung already. Absolutely insane. And when you see rumah kampung how much, then you see here paying 2006, right? Wow. So after going to Adelia, I made a document. I made an episode on it. Then I came back here again and again. I think there was a week I go there 3 times just to see who is there. And Bangi is a location really I tak faham. A lot of people also don't understand how crazy the retail can be. Everyone thought it's a Malay area, right? But the retail it's crazy. Penuh dengan brand international semua, franchise semua. Wah. Yeah.
It's basically, Bangi is a affluent Malay market. It's what you can say is comparable to Shah Alam. But Shah Alam is on the other side. Shah Alam is on the other side. This one is going to be on the other side, right? So if you ask me which are the two affluent Malays, especially for landed property neighborhood, right? I would say Bangi and Shah Alam is these two lah, right? So you either go north or you go south, right? So and which is why you see bungalows of 2 million spending power, 1,000 ringgit steakhouse is there, but it has to be halal, basically. So which is why this place, in a way, Southville is kind of weird because it's not even Bangi proper, right? It is completely middle of nowhere. Right? I used to make fun, right? It's so near to Nilai to the point. I used to make a joke that I think I kena tarik balik lah. If you stay in the highest Southville and you overpay, if you jump and commit suicide, you might die in Negeri Sembilan. You see? So
yeah, the border is just there.
Yeah, it's very near, right? But wow, when we look at the price point recently, there's transaction closer to 600 ringgit per square foot. I never thought this would happen today, right? I never thought this would happen today, but we are in a way on the verge of a property bull run. So that's point number one. Point number two here is that from a supply point of view, it's not many. So I would say the other unique thing about this is that if you are a non-Malay guy, you won't find Bangi appealing. But you will find this place appealing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? So if you got like a wife working in Ilai and then you work in KL, so this is like kind of like the perfect spot, right? It's kind of like the perfect spot. So yeah, this place is probably the only the one that really caught me by surprise after Nilai right? It's just like wow, I have to eat back I kena jilat balik my ludah lah basically. When it comes to Southville I used to make fun of this place, like really make fun of this place right?
Just to sum up my point also, it's everything that we think will go wrong went wrong for a while, but then it changed. In the middle of nowhere, number one, crazy density when the roadside is empty. Then you have direct connection with a toll into the development. Sure, fail on Malaysia where don't like tolls, a toll into the township itself. Then you have smaller units, and it's a mixed development kind of thing. It's almost identical to the M Vertica. So you see, I even documented the Masing development story. So they tried out with their one in Kepong first, then they did the M series before that. Then you see how they try their power against the elevated car park. Where do you connect it? Do you separate it? Where do you put the retails? Everything I go and study, I go and nerd like shit lah. Then they are improving product after product, something like your air filter lah. after every CV, she just fix again and again and again and again. Turn out to be okay.
Yeah.
But
I gotta say lah,
Masing's
Masing's learning capability is actually quite scary as of today.
yeah.
You can literally see improvement product by product. And they don't have like one product every 3 years, right? So it's like multiple product over 3 to 5 years. You can see and there's a vast improvement.
Yeah.
Which I also think, which is why we went from 7 criteria to 8 filter lah. Because Southville is a township. 7 criteria never capture the township premium. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
Number 2, the commercial vibrancy. 7 criteria never capture the commercial vibrancy or the commercial element, right? Under the 7 criteria. It's not properly captured under 8 filter lah. So which is why, based on 7 criteria, I char this place, I char Southville like crazy lah. It's like the development of people say I'm a Southville hater, right? And wow, so many auction, I feel justified for a while. I can't say that anymore lah. So yeah, just when we did this, it's a little bit wow, very humbling lah.
The next project also, I think let Albee finish the next project first.
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
He hijacked the session already.
Okay,
Takut
the next
lupa
project.
kalau tak bagi tahu tu nanti takut lupa because we somehow rate it very highly dekat sini, so I think we just explain.
Yeah. Betul? Okay, our next project, the one that Shane mentioned before, Adelia Residence. Okay, this one, Adelia Residence that located in Bangi Avenue. There's a few Adelia series. There's whereby Adelia 1 and 2, which is already completed. Adelia 3 and 4 is expected to be completed this year. This is a freehold project with layout starting from 1,055 square feet up to 1,495 square feet lah. All of it are 3-bedder layout. And as for this Adelia itself, if combines the total units, it's more than 5K units lah. It's a high density one. Okay, and this project can be accessed through the Jalan Bangi Avenue. And there are few landmarks here like, it's really close to the Bangi Convention Center, the Bangi Wonderland Water Park, and also within 20 minutes from the Bangi Avenue, there is a Pusat Warisan Kajang. And in terms of facilities, I can say, because this is the Rumah Selangorku package. So the spec for it, if compared to the MCNA, tadi tu MCNA better lah. But this is the Rumah Selangorku punya specs, whereby we got the surau, the gymnasium, the tadika, the basic facilities in the service apartment lah. Okay. Next. This is the Agile Marketing POV. The location-wise, I believe the proximity to the Bangi Convention Center and other amenities make it has a strategic locations to be resided, and it's a freehold property. All right. Next, before that, can screenshot first. In terms of price, this project starting price is from 310 PSF, with the median in the area is roughly around 300 for the Bangi Avenue area. And for the rental, if we compare this project with Adelia Residence itself, 1 and 2, whereby as you can see, the 3-bedder rental can go up to 2,002. Even in a bit far residential like Palmyra Residence and Almira, which are about 4 km from Adelia, the rental for 3-bedder is about 1.5K and can go up to 2K for this particular 3-bedder lah. And as this is under Rumah Selangorku, the only available layout is 1,045 square feet, which is 3-bedder. So if you see the mortgage is about 1.4K, which means the rental can still cover the mortgage. Even if you compare to the Adelia itself, 1,004 with the rental starting from 1,005 still can get a bit positive cash flow lah, around 100. Okay, all right, this is the star rating by 8 property filters. 2 star for price, whereby we compare with the latest transaction price for the area. The starting price for this project is about 350K, and we can say that the price POV is quite good lah, consider the locations. 3-star for the booster because of the Bangi Avenue Township, which is still ongoing. Supply and demand 3-star, MRO 2 stars. And if we take the average rental projection in Adelia 1 and 2, right, which is about 1,005, and then compared to the mortgage for 3-bedder, which is about 1,004, there will be a slightly positive while the rental can still cover the installment. So it's 4-star. USP 2-star. After consider the price and the master plan, the ROC capital gain is only 3-star, whereby the capital gain just above 30K and ROC just below 60% lah. Hence, the ROC cash flow is 2 stars, meaning can only cover the cost, and MEO, multiple exit options, is 3-star. So at last, the overall rating for capital gain is 3 stars and cash flow are 2 stars. Okay, the next property is the Ara residence. This one, right, it's located within the Mira Park Township in Nilai, but formerly known as Mira Impian lah. It's a 20 acres mixed development in Nilai Impian. This project consists of 2 towers, total unit 556 units, and it's a freehold project. The layout, there's a lot of layout from type A to F, which is you can see the smallest layout is type D, which is 750k square feet, 2-bedder and a dual key, up to 1,884 square feet, 4-bedder, type E. For the year of completion, Tower A already completed. Tower B expected completion is Q4 2025 this year lah. The total of story is 26 story. And in terms of facilities, swimming pool, wedding pools, common lounge, ensemble hall, knowledge port, the facilities that should have in the service apartment. And for the, what I can say for the highway, this project can be accessed through the Elite, Lekas, and Plus Highway. All right. And in terms of amenities, there is a Mira Park Marketplace nearby the Ara residence, whereby Jaya Grocer has an anchor in the marketplace. Okay, next. This is the Azure Marketing POV. It has a direct access to Plus, Elite, and Lekas Highway that I mentioned before, and it's only 1 km to Nilai Toll. And of course, it is a low density project one lah. Okay, in terms of price, the net per square foot starting about from 370 PSF, while the median in the Nilai itself, after considering a few comparables that apple to apple comparables, is around 485 PSF. Betul. And in terms of rental, we consider Youth City, which is the closest nearby comparable with Ara residence, whereby you can see 2-bedder starting from 1,006 to 2,000, 3-bedder 1,007 to 2,001. While the Mesa Hill, the studio, we can see it ranging from 850 to 1,000s, 2-bedder 1,001 up to 1,003, and 3-bedder 1,006 to 1,007. And as for mortgage, if you see the smallest unit, which is the 2-bedder dual key, it's starting about 1,430. And the biggest layout, which is 1,884 square feet, 4-bedder, is about 2,745 lah. And still, as you can see, if we take a scenario like 2-bedder, 1,044 square feet, right, about 1,650. If we compare to the Youth City 2-bedder, it still can cover the installment lah. But if we compare to the Mesa Hill, the 2-bedders might need to top up a bit. All right. Okay, this is the star rating. For Ara residents, 3-star for price, because the price is below the median of the area. 3-star for booster, because of the XME Business Park master plan nearby the area, which means that can enhance the value of the surrounding lah. That's why the booster is 3-star. Supply and demand, we give 4-star. And speak of the supply in this area, right? The current supply can be set around 4K plus, which is less than 4K supply, especially in the Mira Impian area, whereby this project is the first high-rise project in that area. If we compare in the surrounding, there's only a low-rise apartment. And even the agent said like, oh, we are the first high-rise in the Mira Impian area. And if we want to looking for an apple-to-apple comparable, we need to go to further a bit lah to Bandar Baru Nilai, like the rental that we said before, the Youth City and the Mesa Hill. It was a apple-to-apple comparable. 1 star for MRO, as this location is quite far from the main job hotspot. 3 star for cash flow, whereby might be hard a bit lah to get a positive cash flow, but the rental can still cover the installment. The USP also 3 star because of the price, facilities, and the master plan itself lah, the Mira Park master plan. The ROC capital gain and ROC of cash flow each are 3 stars. The ROC capital gain for this property, right, in 5 years can get around 45K, and that's why we put 3 stars. While the ROC cash flow might get ROC around 10% with rental can cover the cost. So lastly, Mayor is 2 stars. At last, the overall rating for capital gain is 3 stars and the cash flow are 2 stars. Clear, guys? Okay. I think boss want to talk something about this.
So we like Nilai. We like Nilai. We've been beginning to buy Nilai since, in a way, I think 2 years ago, right? We went with the two extremes. The first purchase was the cheapest thing you can get in Nilai, at about 350 ringgit per square foot saja, and it's dual key. So basically, the first property that we bought, okay, next slide please, right, which is a dual key property, right, which is just starting from 240,000. So for 240,000, you dapat 2 studio unit lah. So for Nilai punya standard, I don't know whether you are familiar dengan Nilai. Studio unit, you can easily get a 800 ringgit to about 1,000 ringgit today lah, one studio unit. So for a property that is 240,000 ringgit, you boleh sewa 2,000 ringgit sebulan. Or worst case scenario lah 1,600, you akan dapat positive cash flow lebih pada 500 ringgit. Because for 2 units, right, you can sewa 1,600, 2 studio unit, right? So that was our first purchase in Nilai, and that was I think 2 or 3 years ago, waiting for this property to be completed. Then we went, this is the cheapest. Then we went on the extreme, we bought the most expensive property yang ada dekat Nilai. So I don't know whether you are familiar dengan Far Capital. We normally don't buy the most expensive. We buy the cheapest. We love the idea, I buy the cheapest in the last 5 years. I buy the cheapest in the last 10 years, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But, which is our next property, the reason why we buy the most expensive property available kat Nilai, at least from a SPA punya point of view, was simply because they've got the best facility. We also think that they've got the best location. Okay. Next slide, please. Right. Best property in Nilai from a facilities punya point of view. We also think that they've got the best location. So property has been completed in the last 12 months. Today rental is all above 7%. What we can get as of today, we even do a corporate tie-up together with the airline, whereby today we are renting out 2 bilik, right, for the price point of lebih 3,000 ringgit satu bulan. So can you imagine a property that we purchase for just 320,000, 330,000, rental boleh dapat lebih daripada 3,000 sebulan. But that one special magic. Again, kita tak buat Airbnb, we don't do short term. We're not talking about short term here. We're talking about medium term to long term rental to corporate. Right? So yeah, we've got 2 property kat Nilai. So like I said, we are quite honest, right? If you tengok the property kita beli, we even rate it from a price point 1 bintang je. Nampak tak guys? We are that honest. Property kita beli pun kita cakap 1 bintang saja because it was the most expensive property kat Nilai. Right? But we also begin to realize after our experience dekat Maluri that if your property has got the best facilities, you akan menang. Because they are cheap people, they are also expensive people. Right? They are cheap people and they are also going to be people who will pay a freaking premium one to stay in the best thing there is. Right? So today, this property ada rooftop pool. We bought slightly below RM500 per square foot. So I think we bought the cheapest lah. In all, the whole development, semua orang beli RM500 lebih per square foot. We bought below RM500, but it's still the most expensive property kat Nilai. And today we do quite well. Right? Occupancy rate above 80%. Right? So again, guys, I think, you know, there gonna be some agents out there who dengki dengan kita, who's gonna say, hey, diorang ni property yang dia beli, dia akan bagi rating tinggi. Look, we are quite honest. The property that we buy, even the property we buy, we give it a 1-star rating because why? It's the most expensive property kat Nilai. And when you look at the property yang before this, kalau you tengok, pergi patah balik, on the previous slide, what was the price point that we give? Kita bagi 4 because it was the cheapest thing. So we are quite honest with our rating, right? But if you look from a cash flow point of view, capital gain point of view, both will be quite comparable because one is bought cheap and you know you're gonna do affordable rental, and the other one you go for the most expensive. Okay, so yeah, that's basically Nilai, and I would argue today for those who have never been to Nilai in the last 3 to 5 years. Go. You'll be surprised with how vibrant Nilai is. Right? You'll be surprised. You never thought which stupid car will rent Nilai for above 2,000 for a 2-bedroom. Yeah, once you pergi sana, nanti you akan faham. Right? Because it doesn't make sense, right, guys? Even Selangor pun belum tentu boleh dapat 2,000 untuk 2 bilik. Right? Nilai, you pergi sana nanti you akan faham. You pergi Southville today, you akan faham. Right? So it's very vibrant. It's somehow a place for people who own stay pun banyak, raise a small family pun banyak, a lot of premium universities pun banyak. One of the most expensive universities punya purchase also happened dekat Nilai, right? And today, in one single development, there's got about 2,000 China students. And diorang ni belanja makan saja pun RM50 sehari, guys. Just to eat. Right? So, it's a little bit crazy. Not to mention the airline punya industry will either pick dekat situ, either Nilai ataupun Cyberjaya as a favorite lah. Right? So, yang mana yang tak mampu Cyberjaya, tak mampu Nilai, will go stay kat Sepang. That one is for the airline industry pula. Okay? So, yeah, floor is yours again.
Okay, thank you, boss. Alright. Our next property, Kaladia Residence. Okay, Kaladia Residence, which is located in the Bandar Puteri Bangi, Sultan Klang Valley lah. This residence, right, it's quite special for me because the address is Kajang, but the location is in the Bandar Puteri Bangi. So I can say like most of the people that living there will say that it was the Bandar Puteri Bangi. And some of my colleagues also said like it was the jalan belakang for them lah dekat Bangi tu. Alright, so these residents, right, have 2 blocks, which is comprising of 762 units. It's a freehold project. There's a 3 layout ranging from 904 square feet 3 bedders up to 9,098 square feet 4 bedded dual key. The year of completion is around 2027, and the total of story is 23 floors. In terms of facilities, it got an infinity pool, wedding pool, pool deck, gymnasium, playground, the basic. I can say it was the spec of for this kind of service apartment, these facilities is quite good lah, actually. Even there's no rooftop facilities, but if you got infinity pool, for me, okay apa. Okay, in terms of amenities, can access through the elite, lekas and persiaran mahkota 1. So I can say also in terms of educational, healthcare and amenities as well, as convenience nearby the area also lah. There's a few retail hubs like Kubika Square, Enigma Square and Bangi Avenue nearby the residents. And in terms of connectivity, like I say, this project offers a convenience, accessibility to the city with major connectivity to the North-South Expressway, NSE, North-South Expressway, NSE, North-South Expressway, Central Link, Elite, and the Kajang Seremban Highway Lekasa and Kajang Dispersal Link Expressway Silk. Okay. Next, this is the Azure Marketing POV. Like I said, the layout got a dual key concept with the selected unit. It's a family-friendly residence because of the layout itself is quite good, and it's near to the Oasis Park within the 200 meters from the residence lah. Next, in terms of price, about this Kaladia residence is about from 380 PSF, and if we compare to the median in the Bandar Puteri Bangi, around 360, which is slightly higher from the median lah. And in terms of rental and mortgage, if you can see, we took the nearest residence, which is the Palmyra and the Almira residence within the 4 to 500 meters from the residence, Kaladia itself. So Palmyra residence 3-bedder starting about from 1,005, the Almira residence starting from 2-bedder about 2,000, and 3-bedder starting from 1,009 to 2,000 lah. And if you can see the mortgage for the 3-bedder itself is about 1,550 plus minus, and 4-bedder starting from 1,750 up to 1,850 plus minus for the 4-bedder dual key. And this is the star rating for the Kaladia residence. 2-star for price because it's 2-star for price because it's higher than the median of the area, and because of the Bandar Puteri Bangi master plan that expected to be completed this year. 3-star for booster. Supply and demand, we gave 3-star. MRO is 1-star because of the locations. In terms of cash flow pula, 3-star whereby we took a conservative rental number from the nearby comparable, hence it's 3-star. USP is 2-star because of the price and the undergoing master plan. The ROC capital gains for this project only 3-star, with the ROC is around 80%. ROC is 80% with around 50k gains in 5 years. The ROC cash flow is 2-star, meaning it's a bit hard to get a positive cash flow, but can cover the cost. Okay, and the lastly is the Mayo, is 4-star because the price and a few factors. So that's why we put it 4-star. So at last, the overall rating for capital gain and cash flow, both is 2 stars. All right. So next.
Right. So I'll continue. Hi guys, Zakri here. Right, so I'll continue on the property to review. Right. So this is Arena Residence 2 at Warisan Putri. So this one is located at Kota Warisan Sepang. Right. Benchmark is Keepmore near airport there lah, right? Benchmark is Keepmore and Holiday Inn Sepang, I'm not mistaken. So this one is located on the opposite side. So this one is got they got 2 phases. One is completed. The second phase now is selling lah, right? Yeah. So yeah, and another context is this is under IUI Properties, one of the well-known developer in the country lah, right? And they are also well known also in the area where they penetrate this area about plus minus more than 10 years ago lah, right? For this one, okay. And yeah, number of unit about 800 plus, got 2 phases as I mentioned. The phase 1 got nearby KIA there, right? Kota Warisan, right? So they got 2 phases. So they are selling now as phase 2. Phase 1 is already completed. It's a freehold. They got 3 layouts, quite straightforward, 3-bedder, 4-bedder, and they got one. The biggest one is 4-bedder dual key lah, right? Which can convertible to which can convert to 1-bedder and also 3-bedroom lah, right? And looking for next year punya completion, 25 tingkat, right? And those are the facilities, swimming pool, those are the basic facilities lah, right? and they also got the link bridge from one to another lah, right? And those amenities, nearby highways, Elite Max, LDP Plus, and they are also surrounded by the schools and mainly on the colleges and universities, right? Also have care in the shopping malls, especially those in Kota Warisan. Okay, so next slide. And this is agent's POV about this arena resident, right? Not much controversial USP made out by the agents, which we believe the developer plays a really great role in making sure that the USP is not misleading to the product that they are selling, right? So freehold, the wiki concept for selected unit, low density, that we will agree on this as the USP is stated as fact, right? So next slide. Right, so for this particular property, they are looking at roughly about from 420 ringgit PSF, which the area median roughly about the same, about 420-ish PSF. On the older, about 350 ringgit PSF. Right, on the rental side, we took the one that completed the phase 1 arena residence. You can see the 3-bedder is up until 1,005 and 4-bedder is up until 2,000. And the also comparable development, those under the same developer. On the opposite side, Alanis resident, can say the 2-bedder command up until 1,006 and 3-bedder up until 2,300 for this Kota Warisan area, right? And those are the mortgage roughly about 1,006 to 1,008 plus, right? So next slide. Okay, so in terms of property filter, after run through precisely, right, for price wise, is at 2.2 star average for price. This one considered mid the price range for this area because, as mentioned, today we can see the median about 420 ringgit PSF, and versus other new launches, which is not really much in the area, right? So hence it's a 2.2 star lah. And booster wise, it's totally clear. This is under township, as in Arena punya master plan, with commercial and the booster for this one lah, right? And also potential demographic changes is one of them. Hence, it's a 4-star. Supply and versus demand. There are few property in the area that are new and just completed, also upcoming lah. Hence, it's a 3.33. MRO is the 2.67, mainly focusing on the long-term rental and potentially short-term rental. On the rental segmentation is more towards family, single local, and in the area, and also potential short-term users, because this is one of the other options for people can go for that near KLIA lah, right? And cash flow is a 4-star due to even the rental in the area is on the lower range, but versus the monthly mortgage, it might give a slightly positive cash flow lah, right? So hence it's a 4-star. USP is a 2-star, more towards the size of the master plan. And some of them due to the layout is working comfortable, right? Return on capital, capital gain, and also cash flow is on a 3-star range due to the return on capital for the renter is giving a slightly positive cash flow. And on the capital gain, we believe the numbers will be positively impacted by the upcoming commercial down there, right? And on multiple exit option is 1-star, right? Hence overall star rating for capital gain is 2.6 star, and cash flow is a 3.1 star, which we believe it is quite okay for this area. Is on a safe rating, right? But not the one that we give the rating, but after we run based on the numbers versus the filter that we have lah. All right. So yep. Next. Right. So yeah. Probably I can pass to Faizul later, but by looking at the rating, what we have bought in Sepang, last time, comparable area to Arena Resident 2 in Sepang is actually next slide.
Ada orang komen banjir punya kawasan dekat Sepang tu. I'm also not sure lah whether is this a banjir punya area kan. Yeah.
Only the
But I
area
think
close
that,
to the bridge.
yeah.
After McDonald's, you go down, you go KLIA, that area.
The
Because I
unused
don't
bridge.
Sorry?
The unused bridge.
No, the unused bridge, so it's
Yeah.
either you turn or you
Yeah.
turn right to KLIA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's that.
Yeah. I mean, after this Kota Warisan area to KLIA side. Yeah, so this is Miss Chia. We bought in Sepang as a code name, somewhere in comparable area. Again, the rate after we run is 3.8 capital gain and cash flow about 3.7 lah, due to mainly the right price, right? So again, we don't buy above market or above median, area median. Second is that the right rental game, lah, right? And the rental options that the buyer could go for. Hence, is give a really great cash flow, lah, right? So we don't rate it as good like 5-star, 4-star. I mean, we rated our project as what it is as of today. And before we really enter the projects, we do really apa run our stress test on the projects. I mean, we really go and lower down our risk lah, to make sure that every purchase is actually a safe purchase at least, right? Safe purchase at least on the conservative end lah. Right, Faizul, you want to add something?
Yeah, so this is a code name is Miss Chia. We SPA price I think is about 450,000, close to about 500 ringgit per square foot. We bought it at roughly about 300 ringgit per square foot lah.
Less than.
All right, so roughly about 300 ringgit per square foot ish. So at that point of time, I recall when we were buying it, it's the cheapest thing you can buy in Selangor, which is not a rumah Selangorku, right? Which is not a rumah Selangorku lah. So like I said, guys, we at Far Cap we either buy the cheapest. So this place is obviously from a location point of view is not the best. Facility point of view also not the best, but it was the cheapest, and it was the cheapest by quite a fair bit lah. Almost 100 ringgit per square foot cheaper than everything else in Sepang, right? We've done quite okay with this development, especially given the fact that this is freehold, 300,000 proper 3-bedroom property, and it's not a rumah Selangorku lah, right? So today rental is above 6% rental yield. When we do co-living, this 300,000 property can fetch a maximum rental of about 2008 long term, right? So again, we are familiar in a lot of these areas. We tend to buy things which is, in the case of a Nilai just now, we buy one is the cheapest, second one is the best. This is a particular case whereby we buy the cheapest, right? In fact, in Cyberjaya, I think we do the same. One property we bought the cheapest 1-bedroom unit you can buy in the last 15 years. Then the next one we didn't buy the cheapest, but we bought the best facilities, property, best location. We think available in the last 10 years. Right, that has been our philosophy, and so far that has worked quite well for us, right? So even for example, I think me and Sean we bought similar property in Mount Kiara. Certainly wasn't the cheapest, right? But we bought the best property, best location, best area, best facilities. It was the only one with the rooftop pool at that point of time. And today that property, well, doing relatively very well. Yeah. So guys, again, when you are looking for property to buy, like I said, if your concern is cash flow, right? Your concern is cash flow, please look at the cash flow punya rating. Please, right? So that will give you an indicator whether the property can make it or not from a cash flow punya POV, right? And normally when you look at the return of capital too, if you need to use a lot of cash, normally the star goes down. So sometimes property wise cash flow bagus, tapi ROC cash flow tak tinggi. Kenapa? You need a lot of capital to go and buy it, right? Because if you have to use, let's say 50,000 capital to get, let's say 500 ringgit or 1,000 ringgit per month, it's quite decent. You can get 10 to 20% cash on cash return, tapi you still need to use a lot of capital. Okay. Right. Go ahead. You have anything else to add, Sean?
No, I just have a theory here. Got a lot of notes actually. Kenapa tak muncul punya? Yeah, see, I got a lot of notes. Because at that area, I got a landed Saujana KLIA there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's and the shop lots in front of Arena, I was eyeing very long, trying to get a unit. Tak dapat. And I somewhat came like, because we are so focused suddenly when you put Cyberjaya, Southville, Bangi, Sepang, Nilai, right? What
Mm.
stood out to me was the commercial sector that is so underrated. So I was just having this theory, like, is it really true? Is a hypothesis that like people are moving away from the city? Just thinking about it, but they are earning city's income because they work from home. Because of that, because also of the lower rent, they have more disposable income, so they got more money to spend. Therefore, in the commercial areas, right, they boom because they also have less competition. Not like if you stay in Puchong, you got 4 mega malls to go.
Mm.
I'm thinking,
Mm.
that's my theory lah.
How are you guys doing on the landed property side over there? I don't think you guys are gonna do too bad, right?
Make made about 200,000 in 7 years, 6 years, about that.
That's fucking good, no? Why you sound like very unhappy? That's like that's
No lah, but you
that's
bleed from a rental point of view, ma.
yeah lah.
So
Well,
the
a lot of people bleed from rental and still don't make
still lose
money lah.
money
Don't
lah.
make
Okay,
200,000 lah. Yeah, you should
yes.
be at least happier lah, bro. You
No
know,
lah,
making 200,000.
because I look at the shop lot, that's why like, you see this that's why lah, we all want too many things lah. So like if you that when I look into the landed one and the shop lots, then it's crazy. Then I went to Anissa in Bandar Serenia. If you bought directly from the developer and today fully furnished, you rent out, you can break even for the landed property
Yeah.
in
Those
Serenia
days is
City.
well, those days it was what? 450,000, 500,000?
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
phase that people line up overnight to buy lah.
Mm. Yeah.
So suddenly, like when you put, because like today, that's why I totally appreciate the team for today. Actually, there's like 3 projects that I never visit before, never heard before lah. So it's good. You're not everything in KL we all know already. So that opened up like, hey, these kind of hotspots, right? Are we like, to a certain extent, some of these projects are better than Puchong,
Yes,
are better than
exactly.
Kinara, are better than the places like 6:30 kind of location, although in Klang Valley.
Yeah.
So it's very crazy leh. So because I just went to Subang Murni, don't know whether you know or not. Help University around there. Commercial lot is doing extremely well. So I went and see some new project, which is also, that's why I've been sitting there in the center of the road, then thinking about like, why are people paying so high rent for commercial and no car park one? All need a double park one. We all think that SS2 is the place to go only, but actually it's not. If you go into the arena, the development is also the shop lot, like the fact that Zakri said that it's a selling point. So, wow, I need to go again. So maybe can get some good deals or whatsoever. I go there until the people there, bang, apa you buat kat sini? Sit there in the center of the road, don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
This guy looks suspicious.
Yeah. Go there, go and calculate how many people, how many cars. Oh, Zakri, pass back to you first. Later we can sum it up. Sorry.
All right, boleh. Okay, so yeah, I think let's go to the next slide. So next gonna be another property. Yeah, I saw someone really excited about the next property, called Residency KLIA. All right, and this one is Residency KLIA, address in Nilaya, right? But even the name is KLIA, but it's not located within the close proximity to KLIA lah. The address is just Nilaya. It's under Negeri Sembilan. It's under Nilaya lah, right? And this one dislocated at Nilaya on the southern part, which the landmark should be the Asan residence on the southern part lah, right? And Fasa 1 the completed, same goes to Arena tadi, and second phase is now still undergoing construction, and this is completing soon now, right? So next slide. Yeah, it's a service apartment, this one, right? Okay, so next slide. Right, so 2 blocks, 600 plus units is a low dense punya development. Roughly lah kita tengok it's a freehold development. It's only two types as of now, 1,003 to 900, 900 plus 1,003 is a 3-bedder and 3+1 bedder. Quite straightforward, but not sure is this layout is a suitable layout for this particular location or not, right? So we gotta go through on the star rating. Year of completion, the one that completed is 2024, the one that's under con is upcoming lah, right? And yeah, they have the facilities is quite good for this Pang Salak Nilai area lah, right? Apart from the one that we have in U City, those with macam fancy punya development with the rooftop pool and apa semua. This one is considered one of the best as well, right? Half Olympic size infinity pool. They have the and other kind of facilities are here, right? And the fields is considered quite okay also, right? Amenities, this is Nilai, so those Elite Max, LDB Plus, right? So next slide. Right, so this is the agent's POV about this residency KLIA. Sama juga, not much controversial USP, made out by the agents, freehold, high quality, medium cost. Okay, so the first one they mentioned is a medium cost residence development in Nilai, right? And second is a freehold, great investment options. They've been at this property since many years ago, up until now, right? And they still using the CBSP, which is the best value property in the heart of KLIA, lah, that we don't really 100% agree, since the pricing is not that much of the best pricing as giving the great value to the product and area as well, lah, right? So next slide. So net price roughly about 420 ringgit PSF median in this particular micro location comparable is about 340 ringgit. Rental at residency KLIA itself roughly about 8,000 for 3-bedder. It's not bad. For 4-bedder it's up to 2,001 from 1,007-ish, right? And the mortgage is about 22 and 19 for the 1,003 and 900 plus square foot, right? So next slide. Let's go on the property filter rating. Right. So the price wise, we run and turn out it is at 1.93 star rating average for price. This one considered on this particular property pricing considered on the higher average price range for this particular comparable micro area. When I say micro area, I don't simply compare to all Nilai and all Sepang and all Salak lah, right? So I compare to those comparable micro area lah. We compare to those comparable micro area lah, right? Because we can see today the median roughly about 340 ringgit PSF lah, right? Hence it's a 1.93 star. No booster that will give a positive impact to this area and the development as of today, right? Hence it's a 2-star. Supply versus demand, there are a few properties in the area that are new and just completed, also upcoming, like those Esa Widure and apa semua lah, right? Hence the average is about 3.33, MRO about 2.67, mainly focusing on the long-term rental and potentially small market of short-term rental due to the even not really near to the airport, but it's considered second or third best options area after KI, after Sepang, right? And also Nilai, right? And on the rental segmentation is more towards family, single local in the area, and also potentially the short-term users, right? And cash flow is a 3-star due to even so the rental is on the lower average. It might give from a negative cash flow, slight negative cash flow, and probably up to break even as depends on the unit furnishing, right? USP is a 1-star, more towards the layout. Due to some of the layout, it has dual-key convertible. Return on capital gain and cash flow is 3-star range. Due to the return on capital from the rental, it is giving potentially a break even to slight positive cash flow. And on the capital gain, we believe the numbers is due to the rentals is going fast on the other far punya comparison developments lah, right? And on multiple exit options, it's a 1 star due to versus the comparable landed market, lah, right? Hence, overall star rating for capital gain is a 2 star, and cash flow is a 2.3 star, right? So for this one, it's not simply rated low, but it's clearly stated that if the price and other consideration is also the reason why, right? It's not solely on the price. So just now we shown the one of the property, even so the price is at 1 star rating, but still with the other consideration giving is still on the higher rating, dekat bawah lah, on the capital gain and also on the cash flow, right? So the rating can be improved only when the price is correct, right? So how to determine the correct, how to determine is the price is correct when the price can meet the rental on the conservative move lah, right? So that's the price that you should go when the rating probably slightly can go probably slightly higher than what you can see today. So the main thing is the price and also the right rental game for this particular property lah, right? Hence we have capital gain mainly on the price, rental mainly on the cash flow, right? Hence we come up with these two summary for you to really understand easily, right? Right. So next is I think we've done all 10 properties. Right. Okay. So let's call up all of the panelists. And yeah, probably choose our top 1, top 2 properties out of these 10. What do you guys think about all of these property that we reviewed today?
Hey, Sean, you go first.
Well, a lot of things in my brain right now, like. As a as a enthusiast, I also overload. I don't know how the audience are going to take it. 10 properties altogether. If you are not familiar with the location itself, wow. Okay, so this is my observation. The first thing is just now, which is the one theory that I had, is everybody moving further away. So if you are only required to go to the city once only, is that going to change how we live our life? So then another observation is the location of the sales gallery. Most of the time for these locations are not exactly the project site. Because where is hot for this smaller location is always that one street in Nilai ke, that one street in Kajang ke, but the project is somewhere else. So a lot of people will always misunderstood the sales gallery is actually the location, which is like the Sunway's case lah. Then another thing is mixed development is a very common thing within these areas, because everybody thinks that these locations are not convenient, but TODs don't do really well. Nobody sells TOD when you are so far away lah. So like, what's the point of being the last station in the MRT, but you take 2 hours to TRX? Is it 2 hours from Kajang?
I think
I
less
think
than that lah.
1 hour
Less
each,
than
1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour plus.
Okay, so we need to determine what's the plus lah. So maybe I go and try. So, but 1.5 hours technically I drive also I reach already, right? And it's not cheap also. Right, so those are the things lah. But personally, because of everybody trying to go to these areas, it needs to be cheaper than what we have. Then you whack density. The architectural elements all are the same. Means because land cost is cheaper, you will have elevated car park in the center, then you will have tower, something like birthday cake like that. Tower, elevated car park, then you will have the facilities on top, standard. Then you will have speed ramps, all look the same one. So in terms of architecture and design, right, unit layout, all the same one. Only for Journey and Ara Residence by Myra. So Myra is this, I don't think they are new, but they are new to my senses. So we went through Myra Cove before on the previous episode. I just checked out their Senja, the thing that they just launched 2 days ago in Subang Murni. Been a huge fan of their architecture approach actually. So if it's for own stay, then I think it's okay. And it's not too crazy. So far doesn't mean I need to compromise my family's lifestyle with the facilities and things like that. But what surprised me today, again, like Faizul, is the South building. I was surprised before already, but now looking at all these hot areas, right? I will argue why buy in Puchong. Okay, I'm going to get into trouble for saying this. But these locations actually perform better than Puchong, perform better than PJ, most of the projects. And it's cheaper, more demand actually. Yeah, so but anyway, okay, so here I'm gonna go another note. Is Negeri Sembilan used to be a location where, hey, you know money, you go buy Negeri Sembilan lah. Now it's not cheap already also. So even EcoWorld is launching there, NCT is launching industrial parks there. Sundawi Vision City has been there for the longest time. Yeah, so okay, my favorite, again, back to the answer, is I like Journey because the most complete from an urbanite point of view. And I like Ara Residence because of its architecture approach. So it's so complicated that they have like 8 different types of layout. But they still do. Technically, it's very contrarian to the usual approach where I got 3 layout type, sell out, finish, scouting. But this for this developer is very different. That's my take.
Ada orang tanya, kau terima commission ke, Sean? To say this.
Dari siapa?
I pun tak tahu.
Any good words? I didn't say any good words. The
Yeah.
best thing that I would say is I bought. But all this I didn't buy lah. All this I
Right.
didn't buy.
So, William, top 2 picks for tonight. Other than the one that Far Capital buy.
Yeah, obviously. So to be honest, I that when I check out, most of the properties here, right? Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, I know a few only lah, like Jene, like the MCNA. I've been there to the area before. So yeah, to be honest, I pick what I know lah. And I think these two are quite good, right? In terms of the amenities, right, nearby. And others, to be honest, I just don't know at all lah. Like, yeah, that's me. So I pick what I know, and I think the thing is also about the brand as well, right? One is Sunway, one is Masing. So out of the 10, yeah, that's my pick lah.
Oh, I know
Kita
big
pick apa
enough
yang kita tahu
lah.
saja.
Cik.
Preference.
Myra not big enough lah. Okay.
Yeah. Personal preference. Yeah. Okay. So I'll go for Zakri.
Wow, what a thing to say.
All right. I think first is MC Nagot. Simply due to the price, in general lah. The pioneer, the godmother of this area, Southville, is Savannah, right? The high density punya development. What I aware 3-4 years ago, dekat Savannah alone, they got 2 different management company that manage Savannah. 2 different one management manage at 4 towers, another one management manage another 4 towers. That's where it comes to the management that people feedback, or is a good maintenance, even so is the high density development in out of nowhere lah, right? But even and also on the Savannah, it might command on the highest density per development in micro area, but still on the highest median. On the median is still on the highest bid lah, right? Supporting on the ice cream prices of today, right? You can see up to 650, 670 PSF as of today, right? And not only that, we can see quite good furnishing unit, where it commands a higher rental compared to normal fully furnished, right? Which is, I would say, is quite rare to go and find at this Bangi, at this Shah Alam area on the fully furnished KL city spec kind of furnishing dekat this particular area, where I believe this kind of game that makes the rental looks better and better by time lah, right? Match also on the demand, on the right row of demand the area lah. I'm seeing today about less than 450 ringgit PSF, which the gap to the older property, which is Havana lah, benchmark about 100, 150, 200 ringgit PSF versus the asking lah, right? And yeah, just to add a little bit, just now Faizul and Sean were talking about 8 property filter versus 7 criteria we had. 7 criteria thought, right? 7 criteria thought that booster is the only indicator to measure how an area will grow, right? 7 criteria thought that, right? But as we see the Salvia scenario today, we take note that apart from infra coming to the area, demographic changes that might come to the area is also one of the big metrics that we should learn from this Salvia punya scenario, right? It was nobody wants to stay there, but because of this one particular group, ataupun we are not talking about market, we are talking about this one particular group that enable the market there can pay up to 2006 per month for 3-bedder dekat Southville, is also things that we should look for when we are looking to something, we are looking to some area yang new explore punya area lah, right? Because this demographic changes is not only applicable for me, it's not only applicable for tier 1 city, tier 1 area. We are talking about the, for example, like Maluri aspect coming to the area. We are not talking only about that. But for this heavily local punya area, also applies this metrics, which bring big market to the area. Also not only talking about the market, but grade A market that willing to pay up to 2006, as I mentioned just now, right? So I think Amsina, as of today, since I would say this price is considered on the lower average range lah. And because of this Salvia punya cerita, yeah, I think the price is the main reason why people go for Amsina kot, apart from the convenience and the other reasons. Yeah.
Albee?
I will go with Mcina and Journey. So with 2 different aspects. So if for Mcina, I guess they already talk about a lot of things. Probably most thing is about the location accessibility lah, located next to the bus highway. So it's suitable for those who looking to stay in this area. Like probably there are some who work in Seremban, Nilai area, and part of a family who works in KL. So it's more center. So driving distance, accessibility wise, price and maintenance should be quite all right. So I bet the second one is on Jenny. To be honest, I also quite familiar with the area. My godparents stay in along near to Utah, so I know how landmark and these areas used to be lah. So for me, if talk about to drive in the area early in the morning, is super jam. Okay. Last time during MCO, not MCO, it's the end of the MCO. So I used to stay in my godparents' house because I need to go to UM to study, right? So you know how long it takes me from there to go to UM? It's a 3 hours driving. Yeah, in the morning. So it's so damn jammed all the way from Batu Sebelas or the area from Cheras go to UM. So this is how people in the area would actually prefer something at least with MRT station. So for those who don't really wanted to drive, then looking for just a little home below 500,000 And yeah, some people bet on this developer. Okay, probably this is something you have to consider. You may consider, because to me, if today, if I wanted to buy, about 500,000 property, and talking about cash flow, because to me is, when you have cash flow, you have demand in the area, you have all these additional points of like MRT will actually added the value of the property. So not all the time you just look for a price of the property. There's a lot of factors that we consider of when we picking up the property lah. So location, accessibility, if I don't drive, is there any other options? If I go for this area for own stay, amenities around schools, hospital, hypermarkets is something people will also consider lah. So hence, I'll bet on these two according to the price that they offer. I mean, they didn't run too much from the median of the area. So it's not to say I buy something too expensive. So it's still okay. So I'll just go with this two. So Azri?
Okay. For my tag, first will be actually I just want to choose one lah, MCNA. My first choice MCNA, my second pun MCNA lah. Boleh ke macam tu?
Boleh, but you have to explain kenapa.
Okay lah, because okay, I'm quite okay, same like William, I'm not that quite familiar with the nilai area apa semua lah, but I did the study there also. And first of all, MCNA because I think everyone already talked the pro lah, the benefit tinggal kat sana apa semua. But for me, if I am a student lah kan, if I put my situation as a student or someone that just started the career, I think like, as we know that Bangi is a growing township, right? In terms of economic atau apa semua tu. And if you can see in the map, it's near to the, I can say it's near to the University Kebangsaan Malaysia lah, UKM. And I believe that this property, especially for MCNA, this is one of the ideal choice for student rental lah. For me, from investment perspective, I can say that this MCNA, even if we see the layout starting from 550 square feet to 868 square feet, MCNA service apartments, it can offers a great potential lah for capital appreciations and rental income. Even sekarang pun, if we say like even Zakri said, the Savannah suit, the PSF is 600 something, can go up to, and in term of rental, if we can see, the highest can go up till 2006, 2008 macam tu lah. So for me, kalau I nak jadikan MC9 has investment, I think it's wow lah. And actually because I did this study right for the Southwest City, and I feel like I also like Faizul lah, macam wow, this place is a place that actually sama macam Shah Alam tapi in a different side of Shah Alam lah. That's why I choose MCNA. And even the amenities, the facilities pun, it's near to the Bangi Center, Bandar Baru Bangi and etc. And I have been there and I see the commercial, the vibrancy, the retail hubs there. It's so good. Like everything that I want ada kat sana. Cuma satu je lah. If in that side, like Adelia residence side punya tu, there's the traffic congestion is too heavy. That's why has someone that work, if a student in the UKM, I will still choose MCNAT. Or if I'm someone that's starting to work in KL, for example, but I cannot afford the KL price, I will go to MCNAT lah, Southville City. Direct access to toll, senang ke KL. So for me, my tag is, I will choose, my first choice is MCNAT. My second choice is MCNAT also.
Wah, ini betul-betul hardcore ni. MCNA. Interesting. I would, for me, if I were to pick my top two, my first option would be Journey, because the only one with MRT, and you guys know how much I like MRT. I've also got a commercial property that I bought many years ago. They haven't done anything much to it, which is just opposite of MC now. It is an abandoned petrol station. So yeah.
The abandoned petrol station.
Yes. I bought a bungalow lot commercial property
Mm.
facing Main Road, right? So I got it relatively quite cheap. I bought it below 3 million. So that was my first proper commercial property lah. Today some guy call up and wanting to rent. Okay lah, 11,000 take lah basically. So he's gonna spend a few 100,000 to refurbish the place, and then after that I'll see. I'm personally waiting for Sunway to complete the project before I'm looking at selling. So hopefully I
MC ke
can double.
Journey?
Journey.
Oh, not opposite MC na.
Sorry, opposite of Journey, bukan Mcna.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So when I bought the place, Sunway just inked the
Agreement.
Journey deal. Yes, right. So that would be my number one pick on top of MRT. I've got a biased interest for commercial there. Number two would probably be MC now, because if you look at what we have reviewed today, this two is probably going to be the only one that, from a price point of view, is quite unique. It's cheaper than most newly completed property of similar category lah. Right? So on top of, from a cash flow punya POV, makes sense. I mean, the goal is to get more than 10% return, and these two will qualify. But it is also like the only two that is quite below median. Yeah, because typically if you look at Southville as a township, right? So normally you should launch more expensive. Somehow this one is not more expensive. It's definitely not more expensive than, let's say, for example, Savannah, right? Which is, at one point was going for 450 to about 100 ringgit per square foot, much bigger too. Right? So again, this is excluding everything that we have bought. If I include everything that we have bought, probably my first pick will be the one in Nilai. Best facilities, nothing comparable below 500 ringgit per square foot. Right? That's what I would buy. Yeah. That's our pick lah, guys, for tonight. Right? Very quickly, for those who wanted to learn more about property, and instead of just attending webinars like this, and you want to see yourself, right? You want to see yourself the areas that we're talking about. By the way, can we beam the slides? We've got a property tour coming next week, right? Whereby we're going to visit 3 areas. So we're going to hire a bus, right? Together with FACAP clients, and the public can join us all if you want to. This is the first time, for example, we do such event, right? Whereby we're going to be looking at Cyberjaya, Putrajaya to a certain extent, Sepang, and then Nilai. Right? So we're going to cover this whole area in basically just half a day. So it'll be an educational punya bus tour. You get to see the property themselves, right? So it's 80 ringgit, and you get full refund when you show up, right? So it's 80 ringgit and you get full refund. So technically it's free lah. We're already doing it for clients. So we want to see whether there's a serious public member who wants to join, right? And not get more insights lah. Looking at both Cyber, Putra, Sepang, all the way to Nilai. So for those who have not been to Cyber and Nilai recently, I strongly recommend, because the area has changed. Right? A lot of people used to say this area cannot make it one. That's why Sean can buy landed at 500,000 those days. Nearby Sepang area lah. Now cannot get anymore, guys. Takkan dapat lah. Especially with the Sepang City coming up to Cyberjaya lah. So for those who are keen, you can basically join, right? It's gonna be next Saturday. I will also meet you guys live in one of the sessions. Right? So yeah, for those who are keen to learn, do swing by. Look forward hosting you guys together with a bunch of Far Capital clients who are looking also at properties to buy. Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be at 10 until 4 o'clock, right? So next Saturday. right? Next Saturday. For those who register, right? We will basically share the instruction lah, where's the meeting point and all of that lah. So you're gonna have bus, you're gonna have lunch, right? All of this is part of the tour. Yeah. So all of this is covered lah. Yeah. So yeah, I think we can move to the Q&A. Right.
Oh, right. Okay, so let's go for a Q&A session. The first question is, Cyberjaya is a failed Silicon Valley, so why is your five-star booster still pointing there? What are people not seeing?
You guys are not seeing the data lah. You're not seeing the fact that there's lack of supply. You're not seeing the fact that the rental has gone by about 30 to 50% in the last 3 to 5 years due to lack of supply. Right? Banks are clamping down valuation for new development. So everything is just fairly priced. Right? So you don't see that. Number one. Number two here is that a lot of large developers are betting on cyber. You got Sunrise, you got Gamuda, and now Desa Park City. Why would they be there? Right? If what you say is correct lah. And again, our bet on Cyberjaya has got nothing to do with the fact there's going to be a Silicon Valley. It's just an affordable place for people to own either a high-rise or landed property, which has got MRT access and relatively quite new area lah. So I'm not sure whether you've been to Cyberjaya. It's quite nicely planned. Right? It's quite nicely planned. Right? So data indicates Cyberjaya is undergoing a transformation as of today, right? Data is very clear. The rental demand is very clear too. Price point makes it, very friendly, make it very, very, very safe, right? To the point whereby one of the property that we are buying, mortgage, it can be as low as 1,007, all right? So one of the property you're buying in Cyberjaya, mortgage is 1,007, and there's already a company looking to rent fixed 2,005.
My take on Medini and Cyberjaya is pretty much the same, because they are built in a way where infra first, project second. Infra first means, okay, conventionally developers will need to build their own infra, means roads, street lights, landscape, schools, public transport, station, TMB, substation, fire station, whatever lah. But in Cyberjaya and Medini, it's the other way around. Because it's so easy for plug and play, supply comes in like that. Suddenly, when you have 5 developers, 6 developers all come in together, very fast you will have oversupply in a very short while. Plus, when it's new, everybody hype. So the story is when the stigma, so when it bursts, the stigma kicks in, then banks clamp, but market life still goes on actually. And only when rental comes in, this is where the Faizul narration comes in. When the data all starts picking up, where nobody knows 30 to 50% revision of rental. That's why now it got interesting again. So it's just too fast, too early when you have infra first kind of developments. Because conventionally, who else can do this? Gamuda, Sam Dabi, to a certain extent, Eco World, when they got 3,000, 5,000 acres, right? One person built. So they control the whole narration of the township. That's why one by one phase. But when you have Cyberjaya and Medini, it's free for all because they sell the land. It's a master developer that sells the land. So will there be another project like this? I don't think so anymore because it fails twice already. But it's a very good lesson for all of us to learn. I absolutely sound like a nerd there.
I think the problem with a lot of people here is that they don't understand timing to enter something.
right? So it's like 99% of the people who buy Medini all lose money. We're the only guys who, as a group, everyone just make money. We're the only one. We're the only guys. Why? Because we enter 8 years, 10 years later when the infrastructure is more mature. When people sibuk beli Cyberjaya 10, 15 years ago at 500 ringgit, 700 ringgit per square foot, we're not there. Right? Because we buy better areas for those price point. Why the hell do I pay 700 ringgit per square foot in Cyberjaya when at that point of time you can get 700 ringgit per square foot kat Mongkera?
Yep.
Right? So you have to understand, all new area ni dia akan ada timing dia for you to go and enter. Nilai pun sama juga. There's people who are buying property at 600, 650 ringgit per square foot. We entered at below 500 ringgit per square foot. These guys don't make money. We continue to make money. So I think timing is very important. Timing to enter. Right?
Yep.
So we are the first party who, in a way, big way, right, entered Medini, big, bad bowl. And today we make it lah. Right? So Cyberjaya is one of the things whereby we look at it 1 or 2 years ago, okay lah, has been bastardized, has been demonized. No one say positively about Cyberjaya. Okay, that one is a far cap signal. If no one talks good about the place, that's the time we should have a look at it. Nah, kita tak berminat dengan benda-benda restoran viral yang nak kena beratur ni sebab biasanya food dia sampah. It's the same indicator.
Sampah a bit hard lah.
So every time you know lah, all these food reviewer viral sikit kan, you pergi macam, yeah, this is just disappointing lah, you know. After 2 or 3 rounds, I begin to learn already lah. Nah, when everyone say nice things about it, maybe you should avoid it. So we like to play the contrarian game. We bought Larkin, you know, when people say border was closed, are you guys crazy? We bought Monastin when everyone say it was oversupply, and today we are getting 11% rental yield, right? So you know, we have always been slightly ahead of the curve, and we have always gotten our timing to be quite okay lah. Biasanya our timing tak lari more than 2 atau 3 tahun. Monkera oversupply many years ago. People tell us don't buy. Mission went and buy because everyone told us not to buy. All right. So I think it's the question whereby, number one, are you taking what is a legacy issue prior to the infrastructure being completed to go and judge that place? When today, Cyberjaya dah ada MRT 2, dah ada Max Highway, commercial is more vibrant, landed property begin to make money, lelong dah makin sikit, supply almost tak ada, right? So, you know, so we look at facts. We don't have a preference.
And just to write on that point, right, I think landed property price is should be an anchor. I remember the 8 property filter does it tie to landed property price? Is there a segment just landed property price?
Yes, one
Right.
of the criteria. Yeah.
Which is just now when we look at all these southern projects, right? Because it was slow, it was an alternative for urbanites to buy landed properties at a cheaper price, to a certain extent where it's not cheap anymore. So last time I buy like 500,000, 600,000. So now it's about 800,000 to 1 million already. Therefore, an apartment of 500,000 can then make sense.
Correct. At that point of time, it didn't.
Yeah. So that time you buy apartment in Nilai Kuku, right? So and when the Medini and the Cyberjaya story is when all developers or landowners, right, they have land but they cannot do anything, they all switch to landed first. Because there will be always people wanting to buy landed no matter how far, how they just want landed, die want landed. So there will be all this bunch of people. To a certain level, now Cyberjaya landed is 1.5 million. Right? So because of that, then apartment of a 500,000 totally makes sense. Same exact story with Medini. All developers got stuck. They all push landed product at sale just to break even for the interest cost of the land. But now suddenly all those make money like mad. Yeah, it's the same story again and again actually.
So guys, by the way, if you have any question, guys, please put in the Q&A. Jangan tanya kat bahagian chat. If you tanya kat bahagian chat, we cannot pick it up. If you put in the Q&A, we can sequence it properly, guys. So please, if you have any question, ask it during the Q&A. In the Q&A, inshallah, by the time we end tonight, we'll try to answer most of the question which is relevant, right? So, long story short, we have never went into what is popular. We've always looked at the data, we've always looked at the trend, and when the place that has been bastardized about to turn around the corner, that is normally the time far capital goes in, right? So there's a question here between, let's say, for example, about Bukit Jalil, right? So I'm just gonna talk. If you watch our Battle Royal Bukit Jalil, right, you will find out that the upcoming supply, we love Bukit Jalil, by the way, and Sean is a fan, he stayed there, right? We quite like Bukit Jalil. We just don't like the average property launch price, which is 900 to about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. And majority of the upcoming supply Bukit Jalil is those price point, and we're talking about 5,000 units, right? In fact, I was boldly telling people last year that I think you're probably going to make more money buying high-rise in Cyberjaya in the next 5 years than Bukit Jalil. Now, who in their right mind will go and tell anyone that? But the reality here is that, one, you're not underpaying Bukit Jalil, you are overpaying a premium because it's Bukit Jalil. It's very popular. Everyone loves Bukit Jalil. No one hates Bukit Jalil, right? So you pay a premium of popularity. Cyberjaya has been bastardized. Developer profit margin 12% to below 10%. Because why? No one likes Cyberjaya. Very slow to sell in Cyberjaya. That's where I think the opportunity is. But let's see. In the next 5 years, I maintain my viewpoint after 1 year that I think people who buy Cyberjaya will actually make more money compared to those who buy in Bukit Jalil in 2024, 2025. Next.
All right. Okay. So next one. Hi, FR. I have go through to your website, social media, and all. I just want to ask here directly, how can I buy properties with FAR Capital?
You can be a client, right? So simplest way to go and do it is to be a client. And for anyone who is keen, because you see, FAR Capital buying strategy has always been quite straightforward. We buy below market, we buy undervalued, we buy property that will give our clients massive unfair advantage. I like the fact that I'm buying the cheapest property in Cyberjaya in the last 15 years. There's no dual key cheaper than what we are buying today. There's no one-bedroom unit cheaper than what we're buying today in the last 15 years in the whole of Cyberjaya. So can you imagine, I buy in 2035 and I buy cheaper than the guy who bought in 2015, right? So I like buying those things. Even though all of you think Cyberjaya cannot make it. No problem for me, right? So again, if you use the example of Nilai, for example, right? Our next purchase, let's say in Nilai, is going to be roughly about 450 ringgit per square foot, probably come with about 25 to about 30% discount, which means as a first-time home buyer, you're going to buy a 300,000 ringgit property and you're going to get a cash out of roughly about 100,000 ringgit, and you can still get positive cash flow. Okay, so we play, in all honesty, at a completely different level compared to the retail guys. So, if you guys are keen to explore how to become a client, what deals do we have which is nearest to you? There's a link that is given by my team in the chat segment. Go and click it, begin to engage our team. Right? For roughly about RM1 per day, you're going to be able to go and buy multiple property and save 300,000. And again, I guess, our Cyberjaya deal, you pay mortgage of 1,008, you already have a party willing to lock rental for 2,500 ringgit for the next 2 years. Confirm positive cash flow. Mana dah dapat property about to be completed some more. And here's the best part. I'm telling my client to don't take it. Because I think we can rent higher. If the guy can pay you fixed 2,500, means he can rent at least 3,500. Otherwise, why would he guarantee you 2,500? Betul lah, guys? Right? So, like for example, recently, I don't know whether you guys are familiar dengan KLCC area, right? we are now buying a dual key property, with rooftop pool, KLCC pre-launch, right? With MRT just below, going for about 1,000 below 1,005 per square foot, right? So for below 1 million ringgit, you're gonna get 2 units of proper KLCC property, right? So, and our last year deal in KLCC, while people are busily paying 2,000 per square foot, we pay 1,005 per square foot. In KLCC, boleh betul-betul jalan kaki pergi Twin Towers, tak sampai 200 meter. And the best part now, we have a 4-star hotel coming, right? We're gonna have a 4-star hotel. So can you imagine paying 1,005 and a proper 4-star hotel brand coming in, right? International brand coming in, right? So these are all advantage that we give to clients. When you become a FACAP client, you buy a completely different deal, right? You get a completely different advantage. So you need to use modal to beli. You buy below market, your rental will most likely be 10, 20, 30% higher compared to public.
Speaking from a client point of view, the only struggle is, I still want to buy more, man. That is so as a client lah. So now,
Did you buy the KLCC one?
not enough kidneys lah, bro.
Alamak. Hotel bro, orang lain pakai Airbnb, apa ni, sensor, kita proper hotel 1,005 bro.
Banks don't recognize my company income yet.
Alamak.
My company
Okay.
let me speak to Rina lah. Because I pay half in cash also crazy mah.
True lah.
Right.
Okay lah, but buy the next undercon. That one you got time to stagger your payment. Waiting for your company to happen.
No, it's happening. It actually make money. So like this year now as you speak, I got 3 units out for renovation. Yeah, like so now, wow. So Rolex also offered watch, and I was thinking about it. Why at this time? Yeah, so if you are a client, this is the problem that you think about lah. Hey, so good deal lah. You don't buy, dosa tak beli.
Dosa tak beli.
Okay, next.
Okay, so the next one. With the OPR drop, do you think it is our window to lock in a property cheaper loan, or we should still wait? Beli sekarang atau tunggu?
I think if you understand the concept of OPR is that if you buy today and the OPR drop, your mortgage will be cheaper than today. So you waiting has got nothing to do with the outcome of your loan. Your loan not gonna get cheaper when the OPR drop, no, right? So you take the loan last year versus today, it's gonna be cheaper too because OPR just dropped by 25 basis points. And there's a real possibility will drop by more than 50 basis points, right? So look, we are already at the midst of the next property bull run. I am very much looking forward for Jerome Powell to retire and Trump get his 300 basis point reduction, single largest rate cut in history. Because I think when that happens, US dollar is going to tank, right, initially. And on top of that, all the other currencies or countries that trade US dollars will actually drop their currencies too. So I think if US drop by 300 basis point, I think Singapore will drop by minimum 100. And as a result, our OPR will also continue to drop. So very likely, guys, for the next couple of years, we're looking at a 3.5, 3.2 kind of like average interest rate. Low interest rate environment. Oh man, we're gonna make a killing lah out of property lah. In all honesty. So this bull run is gonna be a good one lah. So me and Sean, this is our retirement fund lah, bro. Right, we already entering
you
that age lah.
retire, I belum, eh.
Kau tengok guys, tamak guys, dia tak nak retire tu. He's gonna make a couple of million out of this, for sure.
You start this journey earlier.
Yalah, tired already lah, getting old. Tak apa. Okay,
But
life.
I think it's is it a signal to buy? But okay, if you, let's be honest lah, 35 years your loan, OPR will go up and they will come down again lah. So if you really think, is it a good time? I think this is we have been hoping, like the whole world is hoping for this OPR to be revised for the longest time. But if you have no correlation to economic news, right? Look at your own wallet first, lor. No matter how great market condition is and you got no job, right? So no point also. So I think you shouldn't let economy tell you the signal to buy, but if you're ready, go ahead. But are you ready first as an individual, regardless of market? And that day I read a quote. They revised because inflation is controlled. But when inflation is controlled, no people make money. So they want to revise the interest rate so people start making money because inflation drives money-making abilities. Wow, I read about this, I think for 2 days, which is absolutely lovely. So once you buy properties, right, we celebrate inflation, right? We actually want inflation. Yeah, so
Inflation is our friend as a property owner. A major friend, by the way. So we love inflation.
2028 jadi menteri. Will you want to be menteri? Admin laugh lah. Have you thought of it? No, just wondering lah.
I have. Provided they can accommodate my schedule. I'm not gonna do a 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock meeting lah, like the other ministers. I can't.
But
I'll do it for free. I don't take a salary. I'll just do it for free. I just want to serve the country.
then I think an advisor will be better because Menteri Perumahan KPKT is kind of silly one because bomba under you.
I don't
Bomba
want it.
under you, municipal under you. Then wow, you have like 8,000 staff So it's not really housing one, you know, our Menteri Perumahan, right? Housing aspect very small only. The rest is your longkang tersekat your kucing kena rescue all this kind of shit.
Janganlah call saya. Saya tak nak jaga bomba. Saya tak nak jaga pipe ketumbat. Saya tak suka semua tu.
Oh yeah, you
I like
need to
the
think about all
policy.
this.
I would rather be a finance minister lah if I have to do those work, right? Of 16 hours a day. Finance minister is alright. Or Menteri Ekonomi lah. But
you look at
not housing
numbers,
minister.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I also don't think so lah.
Yeah. Not for me lah. Advisor makes sense. You're right.
Yeah, advisor makes sense. We only look at the housing aspect.
Yeah.
Yang bomba allocation of abang-abang that one lah.
Okay, I go next. Okay, this one is very long. I read first and I'll post it in the chat so that you guys can read together. Okay. So I am currently without a source of income due to retrenchment. However, I have a reserve capital of 650,000, which I plan to strategically deploy to generate cash flow over time. My short-term plan is to purchase complete real estate units that are at least 30% or more below market value, with the intentions of flipping them quickly, ideally within 6 months to 1 year. For example, I may start with acquiring 2 properties priced at around 300,000 each, flip them for profit and reinvest the proceeds. Once the capital base grows, I intend to formalize the operations by registering a Sendirian Berhad and continue the cycle consistently. With that in mind, I'm considering purchase the FR membership price. My question is, will the annual package provide the necessary tools, data to support effectively execute my flipping strategy on a yearly basis? Then the 1.85-year package seems to slow pace for my current aggressive plan and capital deployment timeline. Let me copy this.
I saw the question. So you got
you don't have a job, you have 650,000 cash, you want to buy property at 30% below market value, right? And you want to flip them within 6 months to a year. You want to look at buying a 300,000 property, then you want to flip it lah, basically. I don't think we are the right guys for you. Right? We don't do anything short term. We look at data. Now, we had people who buy something and made 300,000 in 12 months. We had. And those are normally, we got it by luck because we're supposed to do it in 5 years, not 1 year. Right? So I don't think we can meet those level of expectation. I also don't think that we are built, right, to serve clients who have a higher risk appetite. And we are certainly didn't build the company for the purpose of buying to flip, right? So if that's your goal and you are sticking to that goal, we're not the company for you, right? I do have a much better idea in mind. Okay, because if I were you, I will create employment and I will still buy property at 90% or 70% loan, right? Whereby from a return point of view, I'm gonna get much higher than 30%. Way much higher than 30% versus the capital that I deploy. And very likely, I don't even have to deploy 650,000. And in the event that you have to deploy the 650,000, you will most likely deploy it on 6 to 7 properties concurrently, which means the probability of you getting a 50% gain, right, over that capital. So that means your 650 become $1 million over 3 to 5 years becomes easy. And you still buy things at 30 to 50% below market value. That's what I would do. Your plan is too slow, actually. Or you're looking at buying 2, probably flipping those 2 within 2 years, 24 months. Because, you buy a property, you don't get the property title today, right? And then you got your RPGT and all that, right? So yeah. Now, we've got the RPGT covered because none of our deals are on net price, right? All our deals are like that one. Then you buy at much lower. So I have clients sitting on a 1 million ringgit tax-free, even if they flip the property tomorrow because they bought a 2 million ringgit property, but they pay 1 million. But SPA price is 1 million. So from a tax point of view, you're going to be covered by becoming a client. But I think your way is a bit more arduous. I think it's also slow. Because you buy a 300,000 property, what's the best capital gain you can get out of 300,000 property? 100,000 over 3 to 5 years. So your 650 capital deployed will probably make you 200, 300,000. That is slow for me lah. So I would rather, in a way, create employment, buy 6, 7 properties, try to make 100,000 from each property, make 6 to 700,000, and you stretch your money way better lah.
I 100% agree. If you pay full, I always believe this, like if you play property using full cash, right, a bit not right. Why use your own money when banks is willing to give you 90% for it? And when you buy discount, right, you can use more of bank's money to do it. So, and when you have 650,000, so you put 300,000 properties in, so you left 50,000 to survive, is it? Then you whole day look at the property, price go up, price go up, price go up, price go up. Then what's the point of living? What are you going to do for the next 24 hours? Like,
yeah. Because you got your transaction cost, you got a tax to go and figure out lah. Bro, you can accomplish that 30% return by just buying watches. Use the 650, go buy undervalued watches. Rolex are cheap today, APs are cheap today, Patek have gone down to a 3 or 4 year low. Right?
Yeah.
That's what I would do if I were you lah. I wouldn't buy property lah. Cash.
Correct. So the cash, we invest in properties using credit, invest in everything else using capital. Because people won't lend you money to buy watch, won't lend you to buy Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's number 1. Number 2 is go get a job. It's not that hard, right? And you don't use your own money, put it, because we will have emergencies one. Let's say suddenly you need 100,000, where to get? So properties, let's not forget that it's not liquid. Even if you sign the SPA today, 6 months later, you get the money. So let's live with that motto first, get it right. That's why we buy with credit, buy with bank's money. Have cash in the bank, better, ma. It's not grenade, it won't explode, one. Money won't explode in the bank, one. So, and when you use minimal amount to own the properties, we write the most in equity. Yeah. So I think that's the rest is all Faizul's advice, lah. So you can buy 6 while settle with 1 at a time.
Just think about it. There's a 300 basis point cut coming from the Fed in the next 12 months. There will be a lot of opportunity that will be made available to all of us here, which is far more liquid than property. Right? So, no, we're not advising you to become a Grab driver. Build an income profile. Quite easy to do. If you become a client, well, a full on board client, we will actually advise you in terms of what to do.
But if pensioner, then you got an age to consider, lah. If you're 60,
Okay.
then your loan amount, which we kind of covered on the last episode, right? Last week. Like when you're old, should
Yeah,
you
lor.
have
Buy together with children ke, family member who can get a loan ke, your saving become the backup lah. Well, you still can get a 35. So many ways to get credit lah, guys. And credit is so cheap. If you're gonna get even cheaper, why pay cash?
Yep. But everybody looks at the interest rate. Nobody looks at the holding rate of the bank.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it from 2% to 1%. That's like 16 billion into the market, but nobody talks about it. Huh? Yeah, all I'm saying is banks are quite desperate to lend money to people now who are eligible for it. So people call you, hey, one personal loan, one personal loan. A lot of liquidity is coming. It's in, not coming in already. Yep. Next. We talk a lot today. Sorry.
No worries. We have 9 more.
Wow.
We'll
1
try
o'clock
make it
already.
as yeah. Okay,
Albee
so
is like,
this
Sean, please shut up. Sean, please shut up.
please make the speed at 1.5 answering questions. Okay, so there are 3 questions next ni. The first one is that will we observe a pattern in developer expansion to
I think you
Klang
pose the question terus, please. Better. Then we
boleh?
can jawab.
So you want me to read it or how? I can read it lah.
Okay.
Okay,
So first is the developer expansion. Okay. The answer is yes. As a developer looking to find cheaper land, outskirts lah. Rawang dulu tak laku, today got Gamuda Gardens. Right? So now 700,000 landed property is not a norm now. But it's not part of Rawang per se lah. So it will always continue. Right? It will always continue. Right? So and here's the interesting thing. Some of these new township are not going to be cheaper than your older property, but will continue to do well simply because the preference of young families is towards newer properties, better planned township, loft trees, gated and guarded, So me and, for example, Sean, we don't want, I don't think we have the appetite to go and stay a 20, 30-year-old landed property. The reality, right? So we stay in new condos, right? We stay in new condos. We also stay in new landed property. So there will always be a premium of new versus old, even though location not very favorable. Second, do we consider developers' background? The answer is that we do, but it's a very minimal POV simply because their past track record of being a great developer does not give you shit in terms of their future quality development and the rental you're going to get. So you have to analyze the developer by their project rather than their brand name. That's why a lot of developers can get away selling bullshit price point because they are using the name, right? So for certain developer, always go 50% more premium because they know if I slap my name there, you will buy, right? So we don't want to be like that, right? So what we care about is the developer. For example, if the developer has got a track record of abandoned, obviously we don't go in lah, right? So we blacklist, right? So
and we are not perfect in many ways. We have entered, I think, out of 60 deals, we've probably entered 3 developments whereby developer has got 0 track record of delay or abandon. But today the property has been delayed. Construction is slow, right? But we never had abandoned property. Slow, delay, yes, right? So yes, right? And for us, because we buy at the cheapest price point possible, the great workmanship becomes a bonus. We expect regular workmanship, but if we have great workmanship, it becomes bonus because we already bought cheap. When we buy things at a discount, we don't expect, a Lamborghini level of quality when you are paying a Volkswagen price point, right? Last but not least, far capital focus lie in new properties. We prefer new because tenant prefer new, and new property normally sells at a more premium compared to the older property, right? The property Sean and I own in Mont Kiara today is going for about 1,100 ringgit per square foot. Older property in the same road going for 600 ringgit per square foot didn't move in the last 10 years. Because why? Tenant willing to pay double the rental. Our 800 over square foot can rent 5,500.
Yeah?
The,
You got
the
5,500?
older pro-
Oh, I got
Right.
5,003. I already very happy already.
right? I know someone who bought the 1 bedroom next door to us, today renting 4,500. 1 bedroom, no.
Yo.
1 bedroom, right? And you can actually get a 3 bedroom proper in a 15-year-old condo exactly in the same road, further down the road. So we love new property because tenant prefer new property. We get better rental yield from the new property. We also get better capital gain from the new property. That's it. The key is to buy new property at the old property price. That's how you make money, bro. That is our expertise. That has always been our modus. Simple saja. We buy new property at the old property price. Anytime we can buy new property at old property price, we whack. Kau confirm make money, man. Right? 99% of the time you make money.
But I think
Okay.
part of the question is also because you exclude sub-sales. I think because for sub-sales, then you need 18% just to own the property.
Yeah.
So how
So
many
the other,
can you...
correct. So the other thing here is that our consideration is the capital required. We are very famous for enabling people with no money to own multiple property. Right? So we are quite good at doing that. So people who have limitations in capital, for example, like, William doesn't come from a rich background family. Today he owns 6 to 7 properties simply because we can buy things at 20, 30, 50, 60% discount. So our specialty has always been buying property from developer, either completed or newly launched, with discount that gives us a lot of unfair advantage that allow us to compete wonderfully later when we have to rent the property out.
Just to add on, because although it excludes sub-sale deals, part of the 8 criteria now looks at existing transacted data.
Betul.
So I think even if you because it's quite crazy, we have 50 buyers who wants to buy properties. We speak to 50 sellers, tak mungkin mah. So yeah, but the data is not excluded as well lah. Hey, see, I got
We
study
do
the
look at
8
it.
criteria and
I mean, we do look at it lah. We really do look at it at even the sub-sale price point. But why buy? It's like you buy a brand new BMW, similar price point to a 5-year-old BMW. Why would anyone buy a 5-year-old BMW? Similar thing to property. So that's why our preference. So you got lower capital when you buy newer property. You can negotiate better discount because you're buying bulk. You cannot negotiate sub-sale 50 units at one go. It will actually drive the price up. All right. It wouldn't push the price down. It will drive the price up. Right? Because of the increased demand, right? So yeah.
right.
All right, the next one. 36 years old, a first-time property investor, recently booked an 800 square feet unit at the edge of the Tamas.
Okay.
Property is safe before going ahead.
I think you can always check
the developer background, today you've got ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a wonderful tool to help you do research very quickly. It will give you 50 to 70% of what you need if you answer the right question, right? But again, is it gonna be perfect? That says no. I mean, like we've been around for 10 years, even we can get caught sometimes, right? Buying a property whereby the developer has got cash flow constraint and to the point developer delay, right? So even we have got caught sometimes. And sometimes, for example, you have a situation at the point of time when you purchase, everything was all right, but it went downhill after 1 year. So sometimes you will get caught. I do think your risk of getting caught is much lower when you know, be part of something like Far Capital. Because we've done the research, we've done the study and whatnot, right? And you know, we also have ways to get the developer out of situation whereby it can potentially be abandoned or delayed. Mm.
All right. So the next one. Does your A property filter applies to commercial property? For example, if I'm looking to buy the retail shop lots beneath the condo you review under DOG, can we apply it? If no,
No.
what?
No, commercial is a completely different ballgame, guys. This is only applicable to residential side, right? So commercial, don't use this. It's something else. Completely different animal.
Commercial and property is so difficult, man.
Yeah. So if you ask me, commercial property in many ways is just a very you either are lucky or dirty. That's how I think about commercial.
Oh, wow. Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Dirty is the
You
right word. I
either
was always looking for dirty. Yes.
Yes. You either are lucky or dirty. So lucky means, for example, you buy something, then suddenly the Majlis Perbadaran decided do a one-way street now rather than two-way street. And then
Yeah.
suddenly, for example, like no Sentul last time, Sentul Point was a dead area, guys. 4-story shop lot, 1 million saja. Because why? One road. Yang belakang tu semua tak laku. Depan pun tak laku pun. Belakang memang mati. It was dead for 10 years. Then they changed the road to really circle the place macam Kaabah, you know. Bertawah macam tu. So that 1 million become 5 million. So lucky lah, right? Dirty is that anything good, you have to pay fucking a lot of under table money. From even low cost shop, you pay under table of 300,000, 500,000, 1 million ringgit pun ada kena bayar under table just to get allocation, which I'm not willing to do. Right? So to me, lucky or dirty. Right?
Yes. Dirty is the word. Okay.
And my mentor, after 25 years in commercial property, can still only get it 60% correct. So I like our odds. We are now doing 95 on residential. So we are safe as we can make it to be for residential. So I like our odds. So we might not make 1 million for one single property. We make 100,000. But the probability of us making it is very high. So I like our odds. Right?
All right. Okay. So the next one. Logically, developers who offer bulk deals usually do so for projects that are harder to sell. I'm curious, how does Park Capital screen and evaluate this project to ensure there's still good investment opportunities?
What a wonderful question. Long story short, right? These are harder to sell simply because it was not available at the right price point. But after a 30, 40, 50% discount, it's not hard to sell. In fact, if they were to price this at a 30% discount or 50% discount from the first day that they sold, this property would have been fully sold in a day. But a lot of developers are delusional. So I launched at 900 ringgit per square foot. Out of 500 unit, got, let's say 200 people buy, 40% of my development was sold 900 ringgit per square foot. Okay, ma. Then I begin to give discount 850, another 100 people buy. I give another discount, 750, another 100 people buy. So we normally enter at the last one. That's how we chop them cow to 350 ringgit per square foot lah, your last unit. See, 8 years cannot sell, similar to your thought lah. See, 8 tahun already kena jual, bagilah kita 50% discount. You make money already in your first 80% of your unit. Right? Come, sell to me at 350 ringgit per square foot. So nothing has changed about the property. Right? Location is the same, tenant is the same, demographic is the same, quality is the same. Nothing has changed. The only thing that changes that went from cannot buy at all or shit property, grade E, grade D property to grade A is price. That's it. Price movement alone can move a property from grade E to grade A. Like our Medini property. At 800 ringgit per square foot, grade E. Today at 350 per square foot, knowing what we know today is confirmed grade A. Just by changing the price alone. So how can we get the price point? We have to buy minimum 50 units or 100 units and block the whole balance unit. Right? So there was a question on Bukit Jalil, right? And like I said, we like Bukit Jalil, but we don't think there's enough opportunity to make money in Bukit Jalil at an average of 900 ringgit to about 1,000 ringgit per square foot. Where we are buying less than 10 minutes away, 550 per square foot. Now we even have a confirmed tenant looking to rent 5,000 for the next 2 years. Right? So we like to buy those type of deals. And that deal is available at 40% discount. Last time we were selling for 730 ringgit per square foot. We have a client who actually bought it at 730 per square foot. The moment they become a client, quite sakit hati lah, knowing that we paid 550 for the exact same property, guys. So nothing has changed. Only one thing, price and volume.
All right, so the last one for tonight. Datuk, kenapa South Klang Valley di Pulau Kuat tapi North Klang Valley tak laku? Rawang and Bukit Beruntung kan ada. ECRL akan datang, Puncak Alam cantik.
Sebab kalau kita nak buat South bawah 500,000 pun dah ada 10. We already ending at 1. Kalau kita nak buat North sekaligus in one show, kita akan habis mungkin subuh pagi Selasa. So we have to break it, bro. It's not because we hate the north of Klang Valley, but progress lah. Dia macam, kalau you pergi tengok kita punya Battle Royale, average 3 jam. Just to cover one area saja. Right? Just to cover one area, right? So I wish we have the energy, and none of these speakers are being paid to go and do this. They're not being paid extra. So they come in on free time. They wanted to contribute. They wanted to share their POV, right? So the reason why we cannot include North because, well, kita buat South je pun dah habis 3 jam setengah. So we have to do one show for North, one show for South, right? Lepas ni kita akan buat Central pula, right? So we have to, well, tengok masa. Lepas tu Timur pula, East, lepas tu West. Right? So that's why. It's not that we hate the North. Kita tak cakap North tu tak laku. It's just that today, the edition is called South Edition because there's only so much area we can cover. To prepare for this webinar is a 2 weeks preparation from a research point of view. Just so that you guys can come in, while you spend 3 jam for this webinar, you have to remember the workload behind it was 5 orang full time 2 minggu. If you buat kerja ni sendiri, is 2 bulan to 3 bulan of your own research just to come to the same conclusion of what we are doing today. So, your 2 bulan to 3 bulan you buat sendiri is now being shortened to 3 jam DOG. But we still cannot cover the whole of Klang Valley. Right? So, again, we don't hate any area. I hari ni dengan humble pie mengaku, right? I selalu kecam Southville, today I jilat balik. Saya cakap, wah, tak sangka rental dah setinggi ni. Tak sangka dah ramai orang tu. Because I never thought Southville will be a multiracial punya area. Sebab it's so near to Bangi. I always thought kalau Melayu tak beli, takkan ada orang lain nak beli. But today, it's a completely different area. Right? So, like I said, insyaAllah, we're gonna do one for North bila kita ada peluang. Maybe in the next 2 to 3 bulan. But today is the first time we do it lah. Right?
All right. Okay, so that will be the last in the Q&A questions. So before we end, do you want to any last word? Can you not cover the one in the chat?
Yeah, can.
Right. So I do see the inventory that Far Capital has is all generally awesome. My question is, let's say we are doing well and looking for Far Capital preservation into retirement 35 years from now, nothing about get rich quick, right? I can't think of a way to filter from the Far Cap inventory. Is there a good way to go about filtering? Because it seems like I buy anything from Far Cap will not lose money.
I mean, we might have 20 properties today, but those 20 was filtered from 300 available, right? So you have less than 10% opportunity of making it to the far cap inventory list. So that's point number one. Point number two here is that the wonderful thing about what we do here today is that we don't do things, it's not a one solution prescribed to all. So if you ask me what to buy today, my first question to you here is that what is your income level? How much loan can you get? And what is your goal? Right? Based on this three information, then we formalize a plan. Okay, maybe out of 20, only 3 saja suitable for you. Then we ask again, right? What's your investment horizon and all of that? And maybe after that, there's only 2 properties for you to choose from. So yes, we have done the math. None of the properties that we buy should lose money. So touch wood, right? So we do our best. I think in the last 10 years, we have a less than 5% failure rate, right? So we are quite okay. We are quite safe. Tapi, doesn't mean that a great property for Sean doesn't mean it's going to be a good property for you because his need is very different compared to you. His age is different compared to you. A guy at 40 plus macam I will have a very different need compared to Albee, which is in the 20s, ataupun Azrin, ataupun William, right? So we take all of that into consideration, which is why, if you notice, we just don't recommend any property just like that because we're not agents. It's different. You come to Fakat because you want to build a portfolio, and the portfolio is meant to serve you short term, medium term, long term. It's not an easy thing to do, right? Kalau you banyak utang, first thing I will ask you to go and do, buy property yang bagi you banyak cash out. Why? I want you to be bad debt free. No more car loan, no more personal loan, no more credit card. You only have property loan sahaja, and hopefully the property loan is paid by someone else. But that's the first stage. Making you bad debt free, making you have minimum 50 to 100,000 savings. First stage. Then you go to second stage whereby if you are 35, then you probably want to go a mix of capital gain and cash flow property. And normally, if you are a very low risk guy, I would say dual cash flow property for one capital gain. Kenapa I insist on capital gain? Because you don't know, at 40, you might want to sell one property, cash out to 300,000, bring the whole family for holiday. Right? I'm a divorcee. My ex-mother-in-law just passed away last week, right? Due to heart attack. She was healthy. She can walk. She was 78. My own mother looks less healthy compared to her, and I always thought my mother would go away compared to her. But if you ask me what's my goal today, is that my goal is that whatever my mom wants to do, she's going to get. If she tells me, Faizul, I want to go to Mecca this year, go, mom. When do you want to go? Here's the flight ticket. Go fly business. Go fly first class. Stay in the best hotel. There's no amount of money in the world that I will not pay for my mom. Because I'm at the stage, right? I want to make my mom happy. So we will ask you, what is your goal? Right? Who do you want to serve? Because at the end of the day, property and money is just a tool, guys. Don't be obsessed by it. Yeah, our job here is to make sure that you get it right. But what's the point of getting it right when no one gets to enjoy it? Understand, guys? So, yeah, we have a lot of wonderful property, but not all of this property is wonderful for you. Pick one that serve you short term, medium term, long term. Serve your family along the way. I don't want you to be rich at 35 years from now, and everyone is just too dead to enjoy it. And you just regret like you have a lot of money to be passed on to your children. But you never, get to enjoy your mom or dad. It's quite a horrible way to live, to have all the money And none of the people who struggle with you get to enjoy it. Always remember, guys, money is just a tool. Property is just a tool. Money is just numbers in your bank account. It means nothing if you don't do anything meaningful with it. And property is the same. Which is why today, when I look at William, I'm very envious, right? At 28, 39, he's already bringing his mom, his dad to go visit China. Have a good holiday. And he can do it because he bought the right property, he gets some cash out. He's able to go and do it at 38. Fuck, man, I was only able to go do it at 38. Right? So, but I made the mistake. You don't have to. That's the whole point, right? I do all the fuck up. I share with you here so that you don't have to repeat it. Go do better shit than I do. Don't be envious of me or Sean, right? Because at the end of the day, well, we don't have age on our side now. You guys have it. So do better. Okay, guys? Remember, money is just a tool. Sorry lah, berletih sikit. But I think sometimes people forget. It's not just about the property.
Yep.
Okay?
All right. That's it for
Yeah.
tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Good night, semua. Have a great week ahead. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Assalamualaikum. Good night.